Well, the Trump administration just released thousands of FBI records of Martin Luther King Jr. despite his family's opposition. And the question is Israel not on any of the pages? That's actually the question, right? How many are they not on? No, we actually don't know all the details, but we're going to find out about that. Plus, some of Epstein's victims, or alleged victims, I should say, because apparently nobody was victimized by him. People are in jail for it, but you have to have perpetrators to abuse you to be an abuse victim. And nobody abused these girls, but they're still important. And they say that Trump actually was in on this. Well, Trump is now doubling down, saying that we all need to listen to Mark Levin because he says this is all a Democrat hoax. Just a reminder, Democrats are the real racists. That kind of truth you'll hear on the show. Plus, Pam Bondi is back at the insanity. And on top of that, we find out a little throwback as Hunter Biden has another interview and has said, if you want to deport illegal aliens, who is washing the dishes? Which is literally the same thing as we heard. Who's going to clean your toilet, Mr. Trump? We have such insane things. Plus, additionally, we're going to be going over the Jubilee episode with Hassan Mehdi. I think his name is Mehdi Hassan. I don't really know. All of those names kind of sound the same. It's like Allah Akbar. I don't know. We have one of the Jubilee contestants, we'll call them, or attendees who's here. And Netanyahu was on the Nelk Boys. We can't get away from Israel, even though we try every episode. It just keeps happening. My name's Elijah Schaefer. It is approximately 7:08 p.m. Eastern Time. Whatever you're doing right now, grab a drink, something to sip on, and let's start the show. Actually take that out before I talk that because it actually has hollow points in it. Yeah, let me just point that somewhere not away. Anyways, we are cocking the guns today, and we are feeling like we are going out blazing because some insane revelations happened that we'll be talking about. One of our guests today had some terrible news handed down to him, and we're going to try to do something about it. So if you're one of those people who cares about putting your money where your mouth is tonight, we're going to try to help with that. And also a quick announcement. My X account, Elijah Schaefer, was hacked. We did not start a Rift coin. So I want to remind you guys, please do not buy that. And if anything that account tells you right now, it is locked down. If there's any scams, I'm never going to try to DM you to sell you stuff. You will never see that. Plus, I will never create a meme coin. I don't believe in that stuff. I've lost a lot of money personally on meme coins. So I just want to remind you, please do not buy that. Anyway, joining me in the studio back here is our contributor and producer at rifttv.com. Tell us who you are, why you're here.
Hi, I'm Anna Perez, and I'm here as a Rift contributor, and we're going to be talking a lot about Ghislaine Maxwell, so I'm here to talk about that. Let's see, the FBI, the CIA, Martin Luther King Jr., you name it, Pam Bondi. So lots of stuff to talk about today, and cancel culture. So that should be interesting.
Yeah, of course. And on my left, your co-host and Rift TV producer. Tell us who you are, why you're here.
Hi, Michael Hennessy of Snowflake_News. Excited to be here. It seems like the administration will release anything except the actual Epstein files. They prefer us to be more worried about Russia hoaxes and everything else. But I know we have a lot of great stories, a lot of things to dive into, so I'm excited.
Yeah, and joining me is the man, the myth, the legend. Some of you know him as Pinesap. I'm more new to his content, but apparently not everyone likes it as much as some of you did. You have a real name, though. You said your name is Connor, yes? That's actually true. Welcome to the show.
Yes, sir. It's great to be here. My name's Connor. I'm known as Pinesap online, and I am a Catholic apologist. And so that's mainly what I do, but I cover politics, current events, kind of happenings in the culture and what have you, and I kind of try to really broach all those subjects, I would say.
Yeah, and I think what was kind of crazy is I know you've been getting attacked a lot. You were just on the Jubilee episode with Kai Schwemmer. I think he was on there. You had Hermes, you call it. I didn't see him go up. Sarah Stock. And you've been getting a lot of heat because, well, let's just say you did a very bad thing. You went and you spoke your mind, which you said you're a staunchly right-wing person. And apparently it's not illegal to be that, and it shouldn't be. But in the real world, it actually comes with consequences holding right-wing views, and I think you're facing some of them, aren't you?
Absolutely. Unfortunately, in my confrontation with Mehdi, he was trying to press me, and he asked, well, are you a fascist? Now, I am a Catholic at the end of the day. That's my faith. That's my politics. That's what is sort of undergirds my entire ideology, I would say. And I knew that when he was using that term, he wasn't asking me, do I read Mussolini? Do I read Giovanni Gentile or anything like that? He was asking me, do you believe what the church teaches and do you want to see that applied in society? To which I responded, yes, I am. I'm not ashamed of that because those slanderous words, Nazi, fascist, any of those terms, they don't really mean anything. There's no content to them. They're just kind of used as buzzwords to cancel whoever has real convictions and kind of real right-wing, moral, conservative convictions that they want to implement in society. And so frankly, I did not want to go down a route of acquiescing to him, apologizing, trying to run in circles. I said, you know what, if you're going to call me that, so be it. But I know at the end of the day that my politics are centered on Jesus Christ, and that's all I care about.
Yeah. And it's kind of interesting because you brought up how, like, I know what he was really asking as opposed to what he said he was asking, which is, are you a fascist? Which is, has more to do with your political ideology or, what have you. And as you pointed out, it's all actually about your faith. And the fact that you didn't acquiesce, he was shocked. And I think that's the interesting part. Like, they don't actually expect you to just say, yeah, so, yes, and.
Yes, and, right?
Yeah. That's what you have to answer.
Well, I want to play the clip, actually. So before we jump into our top stories for today, I just want to give a little background here. So he was on this interaction, and I'm going to tell you guys something. This next interaction seems harmless, but it's okay to be right-wing. But it doesn't come without a cost. And, a lot of people, it's a LARP, and it's so much fun to do a lot of things behind an anonymous picture. The question is when you're actually pushed to be asked, right? When you're actually asked, do you really hold these values? Or when you're put in a position to really test yourself, are you going to crumble or are you going to double down? And that's the kind of litmus test of whether you believe what you do. This is our guest tonight on. Okay, so look, I mean, to someone like me, I'm a little bit jaded. I hear that and I'm like, there's nothing illegal about that. You're just saying what you believe. By the way, fascism, you're not saying you support Nazism. You're not saying you support, any fascist leaders. You're just saying you believe that, a stringent government with centralized power and a strong police force that keeps rule and order is something that you believe in, which to me is not weird. It's not strange, and people believe that. In fact, there are still technically fascist regimes that exist in the world today, some of which we've already collapsed in the last 20 years, especially in the Arab world. But when I saw that, man, I was confused. I was like, I think that is he trying to get fired? Because I know today that almost every job, every sector has been inundated with this DEI bullshit. And they allow you to believe anything you want except for things that are stringently right-wing, Christian, or heterosexual, orthodoxy. Absolutely. And you are in some serious trouble in your personal life over this. Am I right?
That is correct.
What happened?
Well, unfortunately, I lost my job as a result, and no one really is to blame for that. It's just the culture that kind of exists currently surrounding the manner in which you're canceled for voicing exactly what you said, any heterosexual, Christian sort of moral belief that goes beyond sort of the secularism and the relativism that we're so used to in our time. And so that's what I set out to do with Mehdi. He asked me, do you condemn the Holocaust? It's like, well, of course I condemn persecution of anyone, Jews included. I'm a Catholic. I don't believe in persecuting anyone. But I'm not going to play your game of let's reference the Holocaust because that's a loaded question. What you're trying to do there is you're trying to insinuate that worldview is going to lead to genocide, chaos, and destruction. But as you said, we see so many regimes where that's exactly the opposite. I mean, look at what's going on in El Salvador right now. The streets are clean. It is a paradise in Central America and really South America for that perspective. They went from being one of the most dangerous countries with MS-13 to one of the safest and cleanest countries, all because they had, a centralized police force, government willing to enforce the law and willing to actually lay down a moral structure to their society, not being scared of what, journalists or other fogies like to say.
Yeah, I was just actually down there in El Salvador, hanging out with some people in the government. We're going back down, actually, to go hang out with them as well. And I was pleasantly surprised. It looks third world, and it is a third world country. You're safer in El Salvador than you are in Miami. You know what I mean? Despite Brickell having, tens of millions of dollars, for single apartments, it's remarkable that like you would be in an area, and this is what they even said. They go, the people are so traumatized from the previous regime, the socialist regime that was in power, that they don't even realize how safe they are. Like they're not willing to take down their fences and their barbed wire. So it's got a very South Africanized, third world, look, where everything's really fortified. But what's crazy is that you can be somewhere like I went somewhere that previously I probably would have mugged and killed, quite frankly. Somebody said he knew where a liquor store was. It was somebody's house, and they were like roasting a pig, and I didn't know what was going on. And they were like pulling like Cokes and stuff out of like their refrigerator in the backyard, like dirt. And I was like, oh, this isn't a store. This is your friend's house, and I'm gonna get killed. But of course, I was safe. And I bring this up. He was telling me, he's like, what's crazy? They even changed their drinking and driving laws to 0.0. You can't even, if you have a drink, you go automatically to jail if you're driving. Wow. And they've already stopped any, they like reduced their traffic fatalities by like half or something like that. And I was just shocked. And so when I saw that, I went down there to study what fascism can do. And I went, it is crazy that to this day, Democrats are protesting that. I don't know if you've seen that. There's big protests against the prison out there. But, saying that you want law and order, you could be saying you want El Salvadorian fascism, and they're an ally of the United States. So it's a very strange thing. They assumed that you meant you supported Nazism, and I'm sure that they terminated you, but you got fired from a legitimate job that provided well because of your political views that are not illegal. How does that make you feel?
Frankly, kind of destroyed. I put a lot of pride in the work that I do. I try to treat everyone with a level of respect and love and decency. And, many might say, oh, you say that, but you're actually this evil guy behind closed doors. No, I'm a guy who is looking at our society being torn apart by just kind of the lack of rule of law, the lack of meaning in people's lives. Frankly, let's just get a the heart of it, the lack of God in people's lives. And I say enough at this point. I mean, why is it that we have to live in a society where people are killing themselves, they're addicted to drugs, they are looking for all manner of filling the vacuum and the void that is going on in their lives? And I'm the evil one for calling that out. I just simply don't understand that. I find it to be so abhorrent that anyone who is willing to care enough about other people and willing to lay down their life so that other people may have a better life is canceled from that. And I don't even consider myself a part of that, but rather so many martyrs kind of in our whole movement and the conservative movement in Catholic Church for that matter, who have labored in the modern age to make life better, and yet they get canceled and they get canned everywhere.
Yeah, and it's really unfortunate. Oh man, I just told you, I'm like, man, I remember I got fired from a really good job too. They also had TV in their name. It's like crazy how you get those jobs again, But the thing is it was probably good. I look back at it and I'm going, at the time I was devastated because less about getting fired itself, but what the repercussions of at least in my situation, people trying to keep me from getting other work, like people telling people you can't come on my show if you work for him, or if you help him out and get him advertisers of this, we will work with you. And the back end of the trying to destroy my life, even one of the texts that one of the girls sent, that maybe if we cause enough stress, his wife will have a miscarriage, trying to kill my unborn bababy, So I mean, these people are very evil, and that they still work in media, by the way, and they're conservative, e-girls, out there. But anyway, very, very evil. I don't make this about me. I'm saying it was a shitty time, and there's nothing about it that I'm going to tell you like, hey, this is not going to be a shitty time. It is horrible, but I don't want to leave you without hope and saying, sometimes, that's why I want to put this out here. I'm hoping this gets out on the internet too. Sometimes you end up leaving something, or God ends up removing something from your life, even if it's your own stupidity. Like in my case, I'm just like, I'm kind of stupid, And so even if it's your own stupidity that gets you fired, or even just a lack of wisdom or anything, was it the wisest thing to say? I don't know. But I will say that God does open doors that the enemy can't close, and to anybody out there, I don't know if you can always just email mike.mendoza@rifftv.com if you want to reach out and talk to Pine, or you can hit him up on his socials. They're linked down below. But if you're more of like a business guy or whatever, and you want to, see what he does and his opportunities, see what his CV is, let us know. But also, I know that we told you we wanted you to make a give, send, go, right? That's what we wanted to do. We wanted to create a fundraiser to try to raise some money because you got fired for your very legal political beliefs. And the fact is that they tried to ruin your life because you are right wing and they hate everything that's of order, of God, and of a sound mind. And so we have the link to the give, send, go. We're like, have a stated goal. It may go up. We'll see what happens, what it is, but every dollar counts. So he lost his job, and you know, like always, they're always trying to prevent you. They will try to prevent you, man, from getting work again. And so we want to be there to come as a community. We've raised money before. And so if you can, I don't know if we have the link or if it's in there. Is it in there?
Yep, it's in the info. Oh, well, I'm like really loud. Sorry.
Yeah. What is it in there?
It's in the info. It's in the info right now. And also I think that we have the URL. 1 second, let me pull it up. It is giftsandgo.com/rift-connor-emergency-fund, but it's also in the description. So check it out. We just started off at 15,000. It's obviously going to be for living expenses stuff while he's in this transitionary period from this devastating event. So,
yeah, and we'll get this on the internet. Plus, when I get my ex back, it'll probably help with this clip a lot too. Can you make sure to ping Peter again too, and get that in there? All right, so yeah, man. So I hope we're able to raise some money, even if it's a couple $100, whatever.
Goes a long way.
It'll go a long way. I'll make sure to give to it as well. So you'll see that, and not doing that for anything other than the fact that I want people to know I'm also going to give, so you know I'm not just like, hey, let's all just like you guys give money. You know, I will also give to the fund as well. And so that will be there. And plus, Mike has decided, he said he's going to give all of his savings to the fund. No, I'm just kidding. No, you don't have to give all your savings. $5, $10, $20. Please help him. We'll get back into the Jubilee stuff, but I wanted to, we'll revisit the fundraiser too. I want to get into the top stories for today. You are a commentator. I think it's interesting. All of you guys are like these like theocratic Catholics. And I want to talk a little about that later too, because I feel like that's a lot of young people believe in that. And I don't know if it's a realistic, decision, or if it's just like more like it's become like a group think thing, and everyone seems to like, there's a lot of these young zealous Catholics who really love Catholicism, but they don't have like a lot of knowledge. You say zeal without knowledge, right? The Bible warns about that. And you don't seem unknowledgeable. So I want to tap you later on, but let's go ahead and start with the news today. We got new MLK files released. And when we're talking about stories like this, it is a slow news day because no one wants to talk about this, but it's still interesting. I'm going to be honest with you guys. Before we jump into that, remember, we got a $5 super chat from Bloodshot567 that said, hello, crew. I just want to say hi to our favorite Southern Aryan queen, Anna. So thank you very much for that. We appreciate it. Anyway, let's get into our top stories for today. All right, we do have other people on the show today, too. I just wanted to start out with that. Our top story comes from AP News. It turns out that the Trump administration releases FBI records on MLK Jr. despite his family's opposition. And the reason why we're bringing this up is we keep having these file drops, and like we still don't know anything. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. It seems like we get like phase
Same thing
one
with JFK
and
when JFK came out. I mean, we did see that they were trying to hide any kind of relationship Israel had with those files, but I mean, it really didn't give us the full story.
Yeah, and I think one of the craziest things is that when we read this, listen, this is just like one of these weird things. It's kind of a weird format. Let me see if I can move this. Yeah, here in the center. Check this out. All right, AP News reports that the Trump administration on Monday released records of the FBI's surveillance of Martin Luther King Jr. despite opposition from the slain Nobel laureate's family and the civil rights group that he led until his 1968 assassination, when MLK Jr. wasn't, working with the CIA and other communist groups to disrupt the American hegemony. I added that. The digital document dump includes more than 240,000 pages of records that had been under a court-imposed seal since 1977. When the FBI first gathered the records and turned them over to the National Archives and Record Administration, and in a lengthy statement released Monday, King's two living children, Martin III, 67, and Bernice, 62, said their father's assassination has been a captivating public curiosity for decades. But the pair emphasized, we've been getting damn rich, cuz we've been getting rich. So we just don't want you to know. We just don't want you to know. Trifling hoe. No, that's literally what this is. I'm just translating what they're saying, These files must be viewed within their full historical context, okay? The Kings got advanced access to the records and had their own teams reviewing them. Those efforts continued even as the government granted public access. It was not immediately clear Monday whether the documents would shed any new light on the life of the civil rights movement or his murder. Let's just start by talking about something a bit controversial here.
Dead ass.
Dead ass. Beep. You can hear the smoke alarm. I actually saw, you ever see those AI videos of like, we call them Lake Worth people here. She's like, one of the Lake Worth people is like, I don't know how, but her Nissan Altima's flying. She like crashes into a plane and like the plane like blows up and she's like, "You were in my way, dead ass." It's like, I don't know. And someone said, "Now do the AI version." You know, that's what someone said. Because it's really how it is, by the way. That happened to me the other day, but it was a Nissan Sentra, so pretty close. And they almost crashed into me. So speaking of that, I do want to bring up this question here. Tulsi Gabbard posted this, and she said she is a part of the head of the DNI. She said that after nearly 60 years of questions surrounding the assassination of Dr. Martin Luther King, we are releasing these pages. These talk about the assassination. Thanks to President Trump's leadership, Executive Order 14176 resulted in 3 unprecedented interagency efforts to identify blah, blah, blah. Okay, it doesn't matter. What matters here is that it's still not the Epstein files. That's all I was going to say. And then secondly, can we talk a little bit about the civil rights movement? Is it okay on YouTube? I think it's going to be okay. I think calling that movement the civil rights movement is doing it injustice. It is a movement that has destroyed Western civility. It has destroyed, like I said, the hegemony. And it is not because it gave these people damn rights to drink on the fountain, you know?
Yeah.
You know what I was gonna say? I was like, you just lost your job because you said a bad word or you believe something they don't like. Mm-hmm. But if I want to save my company billions of dollars over a decade by just not allowing certain looking people to use a self-checkout line, I'm a bad person. You know what I mean? So
Certainly you're a bad person.
I'm the bad person because I want to save my company money and I know what the problem is. I genuinely believe that everybody knows that the civil rights movement was a complete failure, that it was not a movement, it was a military assault on whiteness. It was a military assault on the cohesion of our country. And, you know, it's not really about blacks. I mean, it led the feminist movement, which we're not going to fix this country as long as women can vote. And everybody knows that.
Yeah.
It cannot be fixed. So I don't know if you guys want to jump in on here, but I just think it's funny that we talk about him as the father of the civil rights movement. It was good he got assassinated because we didn't need any leader of that movement. We actually didn't need that movement at all. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I mean, like, he's an enemy of the country. That's my opinion is MLK is an enemy of civilized society. And it's not because I have some hatred of black people or I don't like black people having rights. It's like, I think Rhodesia got it right with the curfews, all I'm saying, at 8 p.m. I'll leave it at that.
Well, and prior to the civil rights movement, actually, blacks were performing closer to whites than you would think, than a lot of people would. In fact, it was pretty on par. And what that tells you is, you know, we're told that the 50s, prior to the civil rights movement, black people were so oppressed by the government that there's no way they could have succeeded and they needed all this help. Well, what does that tell you? Well, it tells you that actually this attitude that they needed help from the government and obviously the legislation itself is in many ways what harmed them. So it's kind of interesting to look back in history and see those statistics. And then additionally, obviously, MLK Jr. had a lot of issues in his personal life. He wasn't like the best guy ever. And most people know how that goes, basically. But I think at large, it was worse for white people. It was worse for women. It was worse for black people. And people don't really talk about that. And black people don't really care because they're going to continue to mooch off the government anyway. So they're not thinking, oh, okay, well, maybe actually if I look at statistics and I look at history and I see how black people were doing prior to the civil rights movement, maybe that's an indicator that actually it's not that I needed this legislation. It's actually a crutch for them.
And real quick, a quick break. We're going to come right back to this. Going to go right into Pinesap and find out what he had to say. But a quick break from the main topic. You know, obviously, you know, we said crypto's crazy. It's making waves. People are making a lot of money, but there's a lot of scams. We had our account hacked and there was like actually a scammer. You know, they always do that. There was like, I got a new coin for you. Don't ever do that if you see your influencer posting that stuff. But, you know, it is a crazy market and it is hard to know when you're investing in the right option. Now, I've got something I think you'll find pretty compelling, especially if you're tracking how digital assets are reshaping business strategies and you want to do something maybe a little more secure or interesting. Now, you've likely heard about companies like MicroStrategy or Tesla adding Bitcoin to their balance sheets. This is part of a Bitcoin treasury strategy where businesses hold crypto as a long-term store of value or a hedge against inflation instead of just cash. It's a significant shift in how companies manage their reserves, and here's where it gets interesting. Hyperbit Technologies, trading under HYPE on the market in Canada and HYPAF in the USA stock market, is carving out a unique path. Rather than simply buying Bitcoin, they are actually mining the digital assets like Dogecoin, Litecoin, and others using high-efficiency renewable-powered operations. By generating crypto as their core business, they've built a self-sustaining treasury model. Now, they're not just speculating, they're deploying next-gen mining rigs and leveraging low-cost hydroelectric energy to stay profitable and sustainable. Now, this positions these companies to hold, reinvest, or even use their crypto to fuel expansion. Now, for investors that choose to buy in, Hyperbit offers a way to gain exposure to the crypto market without the hassle of actually managing a wallet, a key, or any mining operation itself. They mine, buy, and secure digital assets, making them a diversified play in the space. The link's in the bio, reminding you there is a disclaimer because I will not give you financial advice, and I'm not encouraging you to trade or ever to spend your money on anything. I'm encouraging you to make your own decisions and thinking this might actually interest you. So please read the disclaimer in the bio before you check it out. Trading at these on the market, if you want to invest in that company, they are raising awareness and building their portfolio, and think you guys would be interesting as you are into decentralization. Coming back in, we're talking about the civil rights movement. We have Pinesap here, Anna Perez as well, and Snowflake is here. I think this is a very uncomfortable conversation about the civil rights movement. I would if you're just joining the live, I was saying before this, I don't think the civil rights movement was good. I think it was a psyop. It was an operation to destroy the United States. Anna was bringing up some interesting points about that as well, and I kind of want to get your opinion. I mean, it's like, I think the only reason why they care about this is because the civil rights movement is portrayed as something, quite frankly, that it's just not.
It's very true. When you look at the civil rights movement, it's all about racial antagonism. It's about pitting races against one another. And we even see this kind of in the history of the United States. There's a priest very near and dear to my heart named Father John Lafarge. And Father John Lafarge actually started an early, for lack of a better term, civil rights movement called the Committee of Interracial Justice. Now, what was unique about his approach versus, say, Martin Luther King's was he wanted the exact equality of whites and blacks. He wasn't with the CIA. He was very anti-communist, in fact. And he wanted a fully rooted Christian context for understanding the dignity of both white and black people. And we see sort of like MLK come in and somewhat co-opt that language and somewhat use that language to his advantage, but with this kind of bent to it that still sets black people in this position of either thinking that they're entitled to things that they're really not working for, or blaming white people for all their problems, whereas Father Lafarge was all about healing. And I think that's really what it should have been. It should have been all about healing, overcoming divides, trying to mend bridges, but instead, I mean, we've got someone who, claimed to be, a pastor, right, MLK. He didn't even believe in the resurrection of Christ or the virgin birth.
I think I saw that. Was that a Catholic guy? It was. I saw him out there. Very weird.
I believe so, yeah. I mean, Martin Luther King was kind of notorious for denying a lot of Orthodox Christian beliefs. I mean, just the most basic beliefs that kind of define you as Christian versus non-Christian, whether you're Protestant, Eastern Orthodox, Catholic. He denied all those and kind of almost went for, I guess, almost kind of like a Masonic conception of like man's liberty. Now, that's not to necessarily say, the Masons and tethering, all that. I think that's kind of used as a cope for other things sometimes, but this sort of equality of man was not rooted in Christ. It was rooted in this like very secular ideal.
You know why? Because black people have their own slang. Everybody thought he was a pastor because they thought he was saying Protestants, but he was talking about prostitutes because that's what he was. That's what he was into.
That's
you know
true.
What I mean?
Oh my
he's
goodness.
like, he's a Protestant pastor. You're like, no, he's passing her in the train. She's a prostitute, not a Protestant pastor. But jokes aside, I mean, he liked his ladies. He liked his honeys, and he got that money. And I got to say, he was the first Tupac. But yeah, I mean, they did this after with the civil rights movement. They had all these gay black guys become rappers and put on this persona of like violence, and then the CIA plays crack. After liberating the blacks, and they destroyed their communities, and even now, you see the same issues. I'm just saying, it was like now there's no holds on these things, and you just walk around, clutch your purse, walk the other side of the street, and put cameras everywhere. And that's like that's the civil rights movement made a lot of security companies very wealthy. Is all I'm trying to say.
That's true.
Well, MLK definitely, they say he had a huge history of loving the ladies. That's one thing that
at least it was
we've
ladies.
heard over and over. Yeah, that's a plus compared to most of the people in administration. But them releasing the file. One thing, anytime they do this with races, a lot of time is to cause division, which Pinesap was kind of touching on, saying that they want to divide us. And if you can make more of a class that feels like they're segregated, like a welfare kind of state, then they have more reliance on the government, and then you can kind of use them more as political tools. With them going ahead and releasing these files, I personally believe they're only releasing them because they don't want to share Epstein with us, and they're trying to take all the heat off. But even the files that they've given us are not all the files. Back in 1974, they deleted over 66 of them that were related to this case, so that we won't be getting anything on that. And there's also 2 that they kept out on purpose as well, saying that, they didn't want to pass it on for whatever reason it may be. The CIA didn't want to provide that information. So once again, what we're getting is just a lot of smoke and mirrors, where they want us to believe that they are coming to help us, that they are here to expose the truth and be the party of transparency. But that's actually far from the truth from what they've been doing.
Yeah, I'm going to bring that up real fast. Kind of getting into some of this. Mario Nafal brought this up, that the MLK files actually show that the FBI organized its surveillance on King. This document isn't about what the FBI knew, it's about how they kept track of it. Titled simply King, it's a master index created by the FBI headquarters, listing 58 separate file sections from 1963 through the 1970s. Each entry includes a section number, a brief label, and a date. These point to the surveillance logs, memos, routine routing slips, and internal notes. Some are marked reviewed under the JFK Records Act, and it's not the story itself, it's the system behind the story. And so it's like, look, dude, I didn't want your pages. We didn't ask for this. I don't want this.
Yeah.
Do you want to know something? Guys, let me give you some freaking good advice here, because everybody knows that any guy who's saying he's got a perfect relationship and he knows how to handle women isn't handling women well because they cannot be handled. And also, it's a daily fight. It's a daily fight. It is a battle. But I can tell you some things that I've learned along the way that are true. Don't buy expensive shit for women that they don't want, okay? This is very true. Unless you are with a ghetto black woman that for some reason just will wear bling because it's expensive, you date a girl with class and you want to get that ass, make sure that you actually find out her taste in jewelry and fine things, because she may not like what you give her and you can waste a lot of money. And that sucks. You work hard for your money and you don't want to waste it on shit that she's never going to wear or use. And she'll say thank you and it won't lead to anything. If the gift doesn't lead to the best sex of your life, then she didn't actually like it. Okay. So that's all I'm going to say. But that's what I feel like's happening here. I feel like a bitch that's constantly being given things I didn't want. You know what I mean? I'm getting like Cartier gold chains. And I'm like, I'm a white man. Please don't. I don't wear things like this. And the government's like, oh, you don't like that chain? It's like, yeah, no, I don't like that chain. Thank you very much.
That's such a good analogy.
No, but it's
That's a
true.
really good
It's like, so you want a solitaire from Tiffany's? What the hell, do I look like I want to wear that? Like, no, dude, no. And the government just keeps giving you shit, and you're like, look, I know this is nice, and you spend a lot of money and time, and you're really like packaging it well, but like, I'm not a black woman, so I didn't want it.
And I also think part of it's like a PR campaign for Pam Bondi and Tulsi Gabbard, because they're kind of being blamed now for the whole Epstein files fiasco as well. And especially Pam Bondi, like everybody wants her out. So now she thinks she can rack up some W's from these files that literally nobody asked for, like you were saying. And I think that's a big part of it. I think they're just trying to save face for the people within the administration that are literally being called to resign.
Wait, was John Wilkes Booth was Jewish? Why is something in the chat? I never heard that in my life.
Probably.
I might have heard that before, but I couldn't verify it off the top of my head.
I mean, look, I want to say this. It's kind of like, if everybody's a super, then nobody will be. With the Jewish stuff, guys, like, try to stick to facts, please, because
That's
like,
true.
if everybody is Jewish, they literally are. But if everybody is Jewish, it's like literally every time.
It takes away from the truth.
Yeah, it takes away from the truth. But like, when you get up today, like I did, and the first clip on my phone is Ben Shapiro reacting to a clip of Jerry Seinfeld and Howard Stern, you're like, what is the statistical probability that there are three people from different sectors that are all on one video on my phone that are all from Connecticut? You know what I mean? Like, that's actually crazy. It's insane, dude. And I know that it's true, but like, if we just start making stuff up, I warn people about this. If you stub your toe and you blame the Jews, there is a way to do it, but you also do lose credibility. And I saw somebody else very prominent do that as well to even Matt Walsh, where it's like, oh, well, you work for the Jews, so this, and it's like, but they didn't address the statement. And I think like we do lose a lot of credibility when we just make things about race, and when they should be, and when they are, then triple down and quadruple down. But like, if your first goal isn't loving people and also God, and you're not trying to help people, you're just trying to it actually can become an addiction. And it's like you just talk about Jews all the time, and it's hard not to. You know what I mean?
It's very true.
It's hard not to. I have a hard time.
Anger becomes kind of an addiction at some point where you're trying to like constantly point out like, oh, this guy's a Jew, that guy's a Jew, right? And there reaches a point where it's exactly as you said, Elisha. Like if everyone's a super, no one's a super. On top of that too, you have people like sharing these infographics that look like 2008 Facebook political memes, but they're like, these are the verses in the Talmud that say X, Y, Z. And I'm like, well, some of those are true, but like there's other ones that are like very false and stuff like that. And so it doesn't do any service to us to fall into, ironically, an actual low IQ anti-Semitism, right?
Yeah, I think it's bad. Just like people will like quote an old verse in like the Old Testament, they don't understand the old law or anything, and they're like, well, then God says to kill women who commit adultery, and you're like, okay, dude, yeah, it's like low IQ attack. You're like, dude, you don't understand, and they're like, no, and they'll argue with you. I've had an atheist co-host before, and you're like, you literally are an atheist. You don't know this shit. Like, you don't know it. So why are you arguing with me on air? And we literally had an argument about that, about how to treat women. And you're like, and then we can fall into that ourselves. So we can end up, somebody we don't like. Obviously, she didn't like Christians. So then she wanted to she wanted to be right. We gotta be correct, right? That's all I'm gonna say. We gotta actually be correct factually. And what I've been seeing online a lot lately is like Luke Rudkowski is Jewish and you can't listen to him or whatever. And you're like, he's Polish and he's not Jewish. No, he's not. He's on the list. He's on that list. Have you seen it?
No.
I've seen it.
He's on it. And it's like he has a Star of David on his forehead. And the guy knows he's actually aware of what's going on.
Right.
He's not Jewish.
Well, and not to mention too, you touched on this earlier. There's this idea of we have to manifest love when we speak about this issue, right? I see many people, they become kind of red-pilled on the JQ, and rather than using that as a means to say, okay, this is a very real problem, but let's deal with this in the ethical way, which is converting them to Christianity, allowing them to accept the gospel, they go down these weird rabbit holes, the sort of like siege, like neo-Nazi kind of route, and that's not rooted in the love of God. The only way to overcome the Jewish hatred of Christianity is with Christian love. And it's like that old saying that we were all taught in probably Sunday school or by our grandma, right? They will know we are Christians by our love. If we show our love to these people, even when it's very tough, even when it's very difficult, they will know that we're Christian and they'll be converted by it. And I've had wonderful conversations with people, even from like upstate New York or what have you, come from a Jewish background. And because they've been shown such love by Christians, they've decided to accept the gospel and completely give up that Jewish revolutionary spirit.
Let me ask you this, though, and that's what I was going to say with some of this stuff. I want to look at some of these facts here. Are you able to bring up your screen here on the document to go through some of these on the FBI stuff? I just want to read a couple. Like what he's saying about the facts. I want to read some facts here because I don't want to just be like, it's the Jews that killed MLK. I have no idea.
Apparently digging through it.
Yeah, but apparently the CIA surveyed MLK's hotel room and dug through his trash. So we know the CIA was monitoring him. CIA records in the new documents reveal agents spied on him and Bernard Lee from the hotel room. What's crazy is that I'm not a really special guy, but the FBI spied on me for a while. I know they've been at your house a lot recently.
Me. Yeah.
And so this is not really that hard to believe. You know what I mean? Like there was a car that followed me around, and then I got the FOIA request, and it's like in there that like for like 6 weeks they stalked me, and then they put a plant. They got into a back door from I've talked about this. They got in a back door in my phone. And they also like lifted my bank records and everything. And I don't know, they're trying to connect me to terrorism because again, it was an espionage, investigation. But it's like people are like, why do you go to jail? It's like, 'cause I didn't commit any crimes. And they tried to find crimes. And I'm actually really, I'm like they went in through the back door. I'll clarify my phone, not my back door, but the back door of my phone. There's some effed up memes and stuff in there. I'm like really glad we don't live in Britain because it's definitely questionable whether that's legal in most countries. But the FBI was attacking you. So I think what's kind of crazy is the FBI does get a little bored, the CIA, and they just start doing dumb shit.
Oh yeah, they followed me for a while. They checked my phone. They confiscated my phone. They confiscated my computer. I woke up with about like 20 of them in the yard with their guns pointed at me. I mean, it was a whole event. So yeah, they didn't leave me alone.
Yeah, it's not fun to have the FBI harass you. I love it when your old best friend from high school calls you. Just like, are you okay? It's like, what? The FBI called me for information about you. And you're like, How'd they know we were friends? That's crazy. We were friends like 10 years ago. Like how'd they know that? But they do know these things. So none of this stuff that I'm reading is really that weird. We know that they monitor churches. I'm just gonna read some of these things. These are all posted by Mario Nafal. I'm not gonna click on them though, but they tracked MLK suspect through the Coast Guard ship records. They monitored churches backing the Poor People's Campaign, called them fronts for unrest. The CIA sent photos of mystery men outside Cuba's embassy. They indexed King between his wife and his killer. Prominent theologians accused CIA of involvement in MLK's death as well. So it's like, yeah, I mean, does this tell us anything? Once again, from my understanding, these documents do nothing, but just add more information. And I kind of like, it's kind of like how I tell people, like I start rumors about myself sometimes as like, it is a joke.
Right.
You know? And like, by the way, this is a true thing I've told people. Everybody I know, I've told something very embarrassing and personal, different, that's unique, that I've only told them. And I index and write it down. And if I ever hear that from anyone, then I know that they're a leaky source and I know not to trust them. So everybody knows one thing. And what is that I told you? Well, you wouldn't know. And hopefully, if you find out what it is, then you're fired. So there's that. No, I just won't talk to you again. But most importantly, it's like, this is not weird. This doesn't mean that they did it, but I think there's probably a 99% chance that the CIA was involved. To what extent, I don't know. But I mean, obviously, there's a lot of reasons they would have wanted to kill him. I don't think they told us, right?
Yeah, I don't think we're getting all the information. As I mentioned before, a lot of the information has been removed. They're never going to be transparent with us. That's really what it comes down to. And, you know, I hate to keep going over it, but it's really just smoke and mirrors for us. It's kind of like Anna was mentioning that, you know, how the administration is just trying to cover everything up. You even had the speaker today talking about how we shouldn't be asking them where the Epstein files are, that the FBI and the DOJ has them, so we should bring it to their attention. And it's, I mean, at what point are they going to take accountability? This is the administration that's in office. Take the proper steps to make sure that this information is released and we can actually get to the bottom of this.
Well, I want to move over to the Epstein stuff because this is also interesting. Oh, I get so tired of the news cycle. It's just so. Let's just hope tomorrow has a better news cycle.
That's
like,
what I'm saying.
Like dude, it's like Rumble's low on every show right now. Like I went to the front page, I was like, damn. Like even like what's his name? Like I was actually blown away. Like Glenn Greenwald only has like 1.7K live viewers right now.
Oh my goodness.
It is, and he was just like 15,000. It is just there's nothing going on, so no one's gonna tune on, you know. But I will say, for those of you that are watching. I think we're like, 1,200 of you watching across the platforms right now live. It's great. It's fantastic. A lot of you guys download it. We're growing, by the way. You know, this show's only about 6 weeks old. It's a brand new show, brand new channel. We really appreciate you guys. So we're not really worried about numbers ourselves. We're very happy where things are. And to have a show that's 6 weeks old and already getting this kind of traction is like pretty freaking awesome. And so I don't think about who's not watching. I think about who is. And I appreciate you guys, from the super chatters to those that join the locals. Don't forget, we have a locals only segment at the end of the show, ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. You can join it. You get exclusive content every single time while we're live. And one of the best parts about this is, yes, I know that the book club has been delayed. Yesterday, my accounts got hacked. I didn't know what was going on. I was on the phone with fraud protection. People were using my name and likeness to create fake coins. There was no way I could film. So we decided that for at least for now, so that we don't deal with this anymore on Sundays, something keeps coming up, we're going to be doing the book club on Fridays instead of the Friday show. So don't forget, if you want to win this, we're giving away a new Kindle with the light, the brand new one, worth a few $100 every single book club. You can read the book Where the Right Went Wrong by Patrick Buchanan. We're actually doing this so that you read, because a lot of you won't read. And so we're going to be talking about chapters 4 through 6. I know it's been delayed, but hey, with any new thing, it's rough. We're trying to figure out where to do it. So please be patient. And that'll be there at 7 p.m. on Friday night. So grab your book. And then if you want to win this, you can send a picture of yourself to mike.mendoza@rifftv.com, either reading the book, watching the book club, something that shows that you're a part of the book club, and we'll put your name in a raffle. Someone already won one. So that's pretty cool, considering the fact that I like winning free stuff. This is the blackest thing about me.
The locals is nice, too. You did a shout out to Mendoza for his 1 year with the Mendoza Report.
Yeah.
You put the photo
Ladies and
out.
gentlemen, did you see that, Mike?
Yeah.
They put up the picture of you with the Mendoza.
Shout out to Mendoza.
He was cute. He got a little cake, and they put up like ribbons and stuff. It was a little bit feminine, Mike. But you said that we got to keep things. We got to keep it a little sussy at the Mendoza Report.
Exactly. Yeah.
He was really with the dressings for his. He literally catered it, and it was like the dressing was titled Zesty. It was Zesty vinaigrette. It was so good. Anyway, so stupid. All right, a couple super chats. Pale Hoss said, "Speaking of martyrs, Tina Peters' hearing is tomorrow." I don't know who that is, but I will.
She's
Anna?
a Gold Star mom.
Yeah.
I used to produce for her at Lindell TV, and she was imprisoned actually because she was exposing what looked like some election irregularities. And I mean, it's a whole
I
thing.
know who this
yeah.
is. Yeah, we covered on Gateway a lot.
Yeah. So,
Okay. I
yeah.
just like sometimes my journalism and then this show like never crossed my mind, so I can never like track. But like, there's so much going on. We should cover that tomorrow.
Absolutely.
That's good just to remember.
Yep.
All right, jumping into the Epstein stuff. Oh wait, and by the way, there's also a. Where is this? There was one more as well, I think. Oh, here. You get nothing because it's $2, but it said, the Latinos in your office is proof civil rights worked. Checkmate, bigoted chuds.
Oh, they got us.
No, I think, I know, you're just agreeing on us, like, true.
Also, just really quick, by the way, we're already up to $150 on Pinesap, aka Connor's Give, Stand, Go. So I'm sure that he want to thank you for that. But let's get more, because obviously, you know, he's putting himself out there. He's giving his real views. He didn't back down. So, and you know, that's the most important thing. That's how we have to be moving forward, or else we're never going to get anywhere. We're never going to achieve our political ends if people aren't willing to put themselves on the front lines like that. So make sure, I put it in the description already, but I can drop it in the chat once I'm done speaking here. I'll drop it in the chat and make sure that you go ahead and support him, and just want to mention that.
Yeah, and you can also you can get a monthly subscription. I'm just looking at that right now. That's actually crazy. All right, want to take the Epstein segment and introduce this to us and tell us what we're doing. So we're gonna try sometimes too, where I'm gonna have Mike just on the fly do the segments. So if you want to scroll down there and just open up the first document and lead us into. Should be able to just open it up, right?
Yeah, the first one is the Ghislaine Maxwell. This was actually comes from Rift TV.
It's from our own website. All right.
Yeah, we have a few others. This is just kind of like an opener they had to it. But we have a couple other videos to go over, especially allegations against Trump and a few other incidents that happened. It says, in the saga that refuses to die, the Jeffrey Epstein case explodes back into the spotlight, threatening to unravel secrets of the powerful and have long buried. Is it Ghislaine? I always butcher her name.
Ghislaine.
Ghislaine
Maxwell, the
Ghislaine.
only person jailed in connection to Epstein allegedly sex trafficking empire, is reportedly ready to break her silence before Congress. But as President Trump dismisses the so-called Epstein list as a Democratic orchestrated hoax, the battle over the truth intensifies, splitting his base and fueling a firestorm of distrust. So this article is really just diving into how she's going to be coming out. She is going to be testifying, you know, against hopefully releasing names, releasing information. It's a little skeptical if she is going to do it. You know, the one thing I did want to bring up was, you know, with her coming out and the way Trump's handling everything, he actually went ahead and said, let me see if I can pull it up on my computer real fast here. Let me see. Okay. So Donald Trump is now claiming that, and I don't know if you guys agree. I am definitely not agreeing with this. He says his new poll numbers with the Republican Party and MAGA have gone up significantly since the Jeffrey Epstein hoax has been exposed.
What did he expose?
Nothing.
How he's taking credit for something that didn't happen yet or at all.
By the radical left Democrats and just plain troublemakers. They have it 90%, 92%, 93%, 95% in various polls. And all the Republican Party records. The general election numbers are my highest ever. People with like strong borders and all of the many other things I have done. God bless America. You know, something like this, I really don't get how he's preaching. Like, first off, you didn't release the Epstein files. We got no information on Epstein. All you did was say it's coming, it's not coming, it's a hoax. You know, why are we still talking about this? And even with the immigration numbers, you know, I am glad that the border is secure. But at the same time, these, as you mentioned before, these are rookie numbers.
Yeah,
you know, he has to bring it up.
We got to be deporting like 1 million a year for it to be impressive at all. And we're not doing that. It's not at a high enough rate to be bragging about it, that's for sure. And then to throw in the whole Epstein thing and take credit for that, I'm confused. Like, what was my takeaway supposed to be? I exposed the Epstein hoax. Oh, so you think we wouldn't have known about Epstein at all if you didn't talk about it? That's not true. People had talked about Epstein before him. And we actually thought you were going to be the one to spearhead the, you know, releasing of those files. And he talked about it throughout his whole campaign. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's almost like we're just being gaslit by this administration completely. It's insulting, honestly.
Yeah, and as we talk about this, I want to remind you of something real quick. Don't forget, guys, to check out Van Man. You guys know, as we're doing a startup, it's like really great. We offer amazing products for you guys. And Van Man's one of these companies. This is all the stuff you use at home without the chemicals you can't pronounce. Meaning like when you have sunscreen, there's 2 ingredients, tallow and zinc. This is just natural stuff that's used. It doesn't have carcinogens, doesn't cause skin cancer. It's crazy. Some of these companies, I think it was Johnson & Johnson and Bayer, they found out that their products were causing carcinogenic tumors. So they were actually causing cancer, the sunscreen. That's absolutely insane. And so sometimes you're like trying to help yourself, even too, like, I don't use, does anyone else not use fluoride in their toothpaste? I don't use fluoride toothpaste.
No, I don't.
That's bad. I love how you go to the store and there's like 2 options of fluoride-free toothpaste.
Yes, Burt's Bees, and then I know the other one.
Yeah, something. But it's like, okay, it is hard to get this stuff. And if you're like me, I just order everything in my house. So you can get the fluoride-free tooth powder here, the aluminum-free deodorant. You can get the sunscreen that actually, protects yourself. And you also get, this is their most best-selling product. It is the Tallow and Honey Balm. We call it lube sometimes on the show, but it's really a moisturizer. I don't know why we call it lube. It's not lube. It's a moisturizer, okay? Get it right. You can put it on your face, and you can put it anywhere, actually. So you could use it like that, but I don't advise to if you're a Catholic. I'm not, so I can. But I'm going to say what's nice about this stuff is it can be used on anyone. That's the reason why it can be used on sensitive areas. It can be used for diaper rash, for anything, and it's just like really, really good stuff. So check out these products. If you have crunchy life, that's my life. It's like literally crazy. Like I was just told today by my mother-in-law that I've been spiking my son's insulin by giving him too much artificial sweeteners like monk fruit, which is not a bad thing. And then I need to make sure that whenever I give him a taste of seed oils, it changes his anxiety. I don't even know what that means, but I appreciate her a lot. She's wonderful. And she cares about this stuff and loves these products. So if you know someone that's into that kind of stuff, like my family is, check it out and grab those products at vanman.shop/Elijah, vanman.shop/ELIJAH for 10% off amazing products.
Also, by the way, there's a couple of new products that they're coming out with. Actually, so I just saw this earlier. I don't think it's actually dropped yet, but I mean, I'm actually unironically waiting for it to actually drop. It's like a tallow and zinc sunblock stick, which is actually good because honestly, the actual sunscreen they have is not the best with application. It does kind of outweigh that it's actually way healthier. And then I saw that they have this remineralizing chewing gum, which is good for your teeth.
Oh, I actually need that.
Yes, I need that actually.
That'd be really good.
Yeah, and I'm about to order that after this show actually.
Yeah.
But just make sure you use promo code Elijah.
I'm going to go buy the stick because I like this stuff though because I'm white, but if you're not white and you don't want to look thick sunscreen, maybe that's better to get the stick. Anyway, jumping into this stuff with Epstein, I think with all of this being said and done, I just don't think that we're going to get the answers because, Howard Lutnick, one of his advisors, this guy was Epstein's neighbor. He's one of his associates, basically. And look, I don't think Trump was out there popping 12-year-olds, but I think that we have an interview, right? Do you have that in here? The Howard Stern interview that came up from...
The Howard Stern one? Yeah, I actually have that.
So there's actually a Howard Stern interview with Trump. Did you hear about this one? This is old.
I didn't hear about this interview.
It's definitely disturbing.
Oh,
and
yikes.
We're not an anti-Trump show. Some people petitioned against Trump. I don't think life would have been better with Kamala Harris. I don't think.
No.
I think you would have been in jail.
Yeah, I'd have been locked up for 5 years.
Yeah, he got pardoned at least, so that's good. But play this. This is a really odd interview, and tell me if he was being facetious. I don't know. Listen.
What is the best thing about being Donald Trump right now?
Well, other than the fact I'm married, okay,
Right.
And I'm very happily married. I have a great wife. But if I weren't married, I'd be able to get all of the girls I want, except for possibly Robin.
Do you think you could now be banging 24-year-olds?
Oh, absolutely. I have no trouble.
Would you do it?
I have no problem.
Yeah, do you have an age limit, or would you?
No, I have no age. I mean, I have an age. I don't want to be
The
like
upper bracket,
Congressman
yeah.
Foley with 12-year-olds.
Can I make a prediction for you?
Yes.
I say you have one more marriage in you.
Yeah. Well, that's nice. I'm sure Melania will love to hear it.
No, what is the best thing about being?
Yeah, a reference to 12-year-olds. It's just kind of a weird.
It's a weird
thing.
number to pick.
That's an
Yeah.
odd number.
Like
That
instead
is
of being like,
very
okay, they at
specific.
least got to be over 18. No, but if they're over 12.
Yeah, it was like, and maybe he was joking, right?
Yeah.
He's known to be a joker. And there's also a different era where people did just say They just said grossly inappropriate things. Like, and I mean that I'm not a pussy. I don't think they're grossly inappropriate. But I'm saying so sometimes we can hear things, and that's why. Have you ever seen this? Gen Z is so soft that they're putting warnings on like movies from the 90s with like humor. It's like some of the
like
jokes.
Rush Hour.
Yeah, like Rush Hour. It's like some of the statements between two ethnicities could be considered culturally insensitive. Please watch knowing the context that in the 90s, people didn't have the same respect for ethnic diversity as they do today. Watch with discretion. Then it's like Jackie Chan. You're like, it's like, it's actually crazy. But I don't know. I just bring that up there.
I don't know if he was involved in anything. You know, I will say that, but there has been a lot of allegations that came against him. Back in 2016, you had one girl who came out, said that when she was 13 years old, that, you know, she was trafficked through to Trump, and that she dropped her case allegedly because of death threats. So to that, we don't know much. I do have that interview, but there was also another one, Maria Farmer, who's an alleged Jeffrey
Can you play
Epstein.
that? I mean, we want to see that.
Yeah.
I haven't seen it.
Yeah.
It's like, hey, so there's this big thing. This girl said she was abused by Trump. But
long-
let's move on to
yeah.
something more important, like index
Just
page
'cause, like-
77 of the JFK files.
Yeah.
I want to hear the girl that says that this happened.
All right. This is her.
Are you allowed to have
She-
nicotine as a Catholic?
You can totally.
Do
have
you want
nicotine.
a pouch?
Oh, I'm all good. I don't do
In a
nic.
pouch?
No thanks.
I'll take one.
Yeah, we need to get that Alp sponsorship.
Yeah, Alp is better, I think.
Someone's like, "Oh, Elijah, he'll sell drugs to his audience." Yeah, I will. And what are you going to do
drugs
about
in
it?
the office all the time.
We do a lot of drugs here. So, but like the good legal ones.
All right, so this is her interview here. I believe she goes more into it towards the end. But
Was this ever debunked? Because that looks like a wig.
That's what I'm saying. That's why I didn't want to put this one out. If you can actually look it up online. This was a case.
It's
put
Anna
against him.
Perez. It's like someone
Yeah.
trying to be Anna.
But then the weird part is they actually blur her later on. But
Okay, this is weird. Let me play this.
I was so young, and I was also a virgin, so I don't know. It seemed like he wasn't really into having girls that were liked by the other guys. He kind of, the whole glove. He kind of liked things to be his first. If that, for lack of a better term, but he was the one who wanted to get to a girl before everyone else did. Donald Trump knew that I was 13 because the first night that I was there, Tiffany actually suggested that she had a whole bunch of different wigs, and I expressed interest in them. I always told her that I would love to walk around with blue hair, and so I tried some on, and there was a blonde wig that she said that looked great on me. So I wore that wig, and Donald Trump had specifically asked about me because I remind him of his daughter. And she said, well, she's 13 as well. So he knew the first time that he saw me, but he took a liking to me because I look like his daughter.
If Ivanka weren't my daughter, perhaps I'd be dating her.
Stop it! Oh, it's so weird. Stop it. You know what? What's the favorite thing you have in common with your father?
Either real estate or golf.
Donald, with your daughter?
Well, I was going to say sex, but I can't relate that.
The reason I'm coming out now is when it happened.
I didn't register. I was like, what?
I just wanted to forget about the whole incident. And when I
All right,
saw
mute
that
that
he
for a
was running
second.
for president,
Okay, so I know Gen Z is like soft. This is my point. Like, I know someone that was like talking in front of another Gen Z person that I know, and they were like just like making a comment like, oh yeah, like it was about not about anything that happened here, but it was like, oh yeah, my little sister had, big boobs or whatever, and then like, was self-conscious about the pictures, and then when I asked her, like, why do you wear shirts like that? She was like, well, when you have big boobs, if you wear like big shirts, then you look fat. And I was like, there's only so many things you
True.
can wear. And so, yeah, well, our intern knows too. So the thing is I'm like, we're like there, and like the Gen Z's like super horrified, like that, like some guy, like brother would like mention that his sister has big boobs. Like for my generation, like it's a context. He's not saying anything. Like he's saying like he's as a brother who's concerned. He's like, you have eyes and you look at your sister and go, why are you dressed like that? You're like a father or something. Like it's not weird if you're a father and you're like, see that and you notice your daughter looks conventionally what guys would be sexually attracted to, that's called being a good father or like a good brother. It doesn't mean you're sexually attracted to them, but everybody knows you would still tell your daughter you don't go out naked because men like naked women. This is a very, very understanding thing. So it's not necessarily weird for a father to comment about his daughter being attractive or also even try to get her dates by telling a guy something like, oh, my daughter's, she's a good looking gal, but you still probably wouldn't describe your daughter as like sexy. You know what I mean?
Weird.
Yeah, that is
like,
weird.
That's off base.
That's very
yeah,
strange.
so I think Gen Z does get weird. Just like I found out that Gen Z doesn't like to change in front of each other. That's also bizarre too, because we love to change. We all change together. We bring our clothes to the office and change together every morning. But I mean, there's a lot of these with Gen Z that I think are really weird, and they fall in this like extreme spectrum of either they're like extremely based or extremely not, right? So there's really no in between. But with social issues, they're all kind of pussies. Like they think you have to be like a Catholic perfect person or you're like a degenerate. It's like that's not how most people think or live. I do think that his comments are freaking weird though. Like meaning all of that context, I feel uncomfortable. Like there's pictures of him like with young girls that look underage. And it's like, okay, if it was like somebody's daughter that was like 6 and came up, like gave me a kiss on the cheek or something, that's fine. But like someone's 16-year-old daughter, no thank you. Please don't do that to me. And I've seen like girls leaning on him and kids. And I'm not saying anything about Trump. I'm just saying, can we at least address the elephant in the room that I don't think that was just, those are just like, those comments are weird.
They are definitely weird. It made me uncomfortable hearing them. Yeah.
It's weird, but it doesn't make him a pedophile.
No.
You know what I'm saying? But it's weird.
Yeah, I tend to have a more critical view of Trump, to be honest, with the recent Epstein.
Go on.
I mean,
Air it out, man.
Frankly, I think he's on the list, considering that
for abusing.
Okay. Because at first, I had a friend who kind of brought up a good point about, do you think it's like just Mossad kind of, trying to make him not release the list, kind of shut it down, make him put it in the background, right? And I don't know, his sporadic behavior makes me think that he has more of a personal stake in it than just someone like blackmailing him or just trying to twist his arm, right? In a manner of like normal political intervention, right, from like Israel or what have you. And so he's been acting really weird recently with the list. I mean, especially when people will keep bringing it up and he's like, oh, why are we still talking about that? There's this other thing going on. Why are we still mentioning Epstein? Well, the Epstein case is the largest case of, child abuse in probably history at this point, right? Why wouldn't we talk about it? I mean, another friend of mine said the other day, if America has to fall because of it, let it fall. You have to deal with these people in power who are actively abating and abetting abusers or participating in that abuse, or else the cycle is just going to continue. And it's like you're going to get Epstein 2, 3, 4
Absolutely.
after it.
Yeah. And it was kind of interesting that he made child trafficking the kind of like the cornerstone of his campaign. It's almost like you're hiding in plain sight.
Absolutely.
You're kind of like making something the highlight of your campaign so nobody thinks that's what you're guilty of. And because I kind of agree, like I'm kind of like at this point, I don't know. Nobody would be this defensive or this protective of the list unless there's something that they have at stake, personally speaking. So, and then you couple that with the fact that he wanted us to pay so much attention to it. Oh, and then by the way, we thought that was going to carry through the entire campaign into his presidency. And at some point, it kind of got dropped off. Like he just stopped talking about child trafficking after promising to make that his big issue, which I think is strange.
Yeah,
it's very odd.
And then
His
you
son
hear a
did
lot
too,
of the
though. Just so you know, his son
rumors,
did. His son, Trump's son, also said we need to release the list, and JD Vance got
they all
awkward
said
about it. So
yeah, JD Vance even at first was laughing on Theo Von, saying that it should be released as well.
I remember that.
Yeah, they've all come out and said it plenty of times. And then, now there's a lot of rumors in the background. That's actually how Trump met his wife, was through Epstein and a bunch of others. But we still got to figure out.
Is that a rumor? Because I heard that that's true.
I don't know if it's true or not. That's what I'm saying. I don't want to speak in absolute unless it's true.
Yeah, because I don't want to come across like the Trump is Hitler kind of people. Because I don't think I don't care about Do you ever seen that meme where it's what the left says Trump administration is like, and he's like has a swastika on his arm and he's dressed like a fascist, and then it says what Trump's administration is really like to people who know, and it's just like that Sam Hyde clip, Jews rock. Yeah, it's like
or it's him holding the gay pride flag, like LGBT for Trump.
Like we know that he's not really right wing. He's a moderate, right? He's a moderate centrist. He's center left. He's center left, but he's traditional. He's like a 90s Democrat. He doesn't like crime.
Right.
He wants order. He's like Bill Clinton, basically. You know what I mean? Bill Clinton didn't want a lot of foreign intervention. He was trying to figure things out strategically. Bill Clinton famously, speaking of our book, where the right went wrong, the neocons tried to get a hold of the country under Clinton. And I got to say, this is like, I want to make Sarah so mad because I always defend the governor of California. I'm going to start defending Bill Clinton now, too.
Oh, God.
I'm going to start defending Bill Clinton. No, but I'm going to be honest. I don't care that he got a blowjob in the Oval Office, okay? I actually don't care. The fact that he resisted the neocons for 8 years and they consistently, they consistently tried to get him to adopt this new world order, which he did mention, but he didn't take their plan seriously. Then they tried to get him to adopt this invasion into the Middle East, and he actually, technically, it was Bush Sr. that handled Kuwait, right? That was him, right? That handled the Iraq invasion, and I think they wanted to go back in then in the 90s. So I'm going to give him credit for his foreign policy, and he says I did not have sexual relations with that woman. He says he didn't, and if the dress isn't stained, then don't give the blame, right? That's all I'm going to say. No, but jokes aside, I do think, in retrospect, the neocons took control of the government, which is which is the Jews, right? So like that is this.
Right.
It's a synonym. They're equivalent words. So sometimes, as much as I know, like other people, I know Fuentes doesn't like when people say like Frankists or neocons, and I think he's right about that. Like you do gotta like just name people. Like you gotta just say like what you said. You gotta just say if you are what you are and what it is, what it is. But I also think that we need to remember too, like I tell people, it is important to also say Zionists because the Zionist regime is being propped up by a lot of evangelical Christians too.
Absolutely.
So evangelicalism is a huge political problem in our country, and it's a very complicated one because we really don't want to come against Christians. And I know a lot of evangelicals are very moral people, and it's very hard to tell moral people that you don't smoke, you don't drink, you don't gamble, but your politics is destroying this country. And with Trump, it's like it was really conflicting in the last election because I tell people what I voted for mainly was this guy not to go to jail. I did an abortion thing. Girls are like, I just want my abortion. I was like, I just didn't want my friend to go to jail.
That's so real.
So I voted for him, and he did get the pardon. And then I talked to Brucewitz and people in the cabinet, and they said he is going to pardon people if he gets elected. So I did it to also not go to jail too. So, but other than that, he's failed it. I thought he was going to end the Ukraine war, honestly. I thought maybe he would.
Day one.
Yeah.
Actually, before he entered, he said
So-
before I
so
enter,
disappointing.
Oh my
that war will
goodness.
be completely over. And it's like, no, that didn't happen. No more foreign wars.
Well, you know what it
War
was?
in the Middle East.
No, I think like with the Ukraine thing, how he promised to like give more money to them, because that was a recent thing. That was a recent story. We talked about it actually on the show when I was hosting. And I think he's just trying so hard to not come across as pro-Russia, which kind of says that he's falling right into the hands of their narrative, the left's narrative, which because that's what they tried to push for so long, which is like demoralizing because it kind of just shows how sold out he is to the Jays,
I like Putin, to be completely honest, although my neighbor, where I just moved here in Boca, her dad was assassinated by Putin. So she is in asylum here. So I know he's not perfect, and I wouldn't want to get on his bad side.
Right.
But I know Russians. I know a lot of Russians. This Boca is a very Russian city. There's a lot of Russians, and there's a Russian mob and the Jewish mob here that control everything. But one thing that they do tell me is like it's always a trip going back to Moscow because it's like there's no homeless drug addicts on the street. And there's a lot of white people, and everyone's like, oh, but there's Muslims and stuff and whatever. But even Putin still defends the Holy Land, like he still seems to be a Zionist in some ways, although he defends Iran and whatnot. He's not getting Iran's back right now.
No, he's not.
You know what I mean? No. He's not like ISIS, right, or whatever. Like you'd think they'd be the enemies, but they're not. They don't act like it, right? They don't act like Israel's enemies.
Well, and not to mention, I mean, his main political theorist, Dugin, right? I haven't studied Duginism like in depth, but I know that he likes Kabbalah. He heavily kind of values Zionism and sees a lot of value in it. He's like condemned anti-Semitism over and over and over again. And so even though there are like these admirable kind of like right-wing elements to Putin's regime, there's still very much that like Zionist tint to it that doesn't really quite give us exactly what we want.
Yeah, I want to say also too with the Give Send Go, we're up to $685. It's pretty good for just one show.
Let's go.
Up to $685.
That's super good.
Let's keep going. If you want to give to the Give Send Go, he was terminated from his job for holding right-wing political beliefs. And again, I want to say, dude, It was pretty fucking retarded to say that on a liberal show and not expect this to happen. I am going to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, it was definitely a spur of the moment thing. I would say
it was a spurgy moment.
Yeah,
not a spur of the moment.
But what I would say with it was, I wanted to press upon that we are in a time now where that rhetoric shouldn't affect us anymore. Now it does.
Clearly, I just want to remind people,
right?
Clearly it does. I'm not telling you to back down, but why didn't you back down though? Why? I mean, because we talked about it earlier, but just, I mean, we're talking about like standing up and Trump doesn't stand up. You said something, dude. You said you're a fascist, and I don't want to. I'm not going to come across like I'm counter signaling you because, like I said, I support Bukele, and he's a fascist. No one wants to accept that, but he's a 100% fascist. And when you go to El Salvador, they say, "Yeah, fascista." Like it's it's good, you know. So it's like, and I see they're liberated. Fascism isn't bad. It's a good ideology when it's applied correctly, especially with Christian principles and morals. But in America, man, you had to have known. Like, how did you not know? Like, I have a good job and I'm not going to have a job. And was it worth it to you? Was this worth it to you? Be honest.
I think in some ways, yes, and in some ways, no. I only care about really sort of how something affects me at the, or rather, I guess I could put it in this way of, I don't care about myself, but I do care about the people. And I want to make and so in that way, I do care very, very, very much. But as for myself, I've chosen to take the role of speaking out about these topics. And so if people want to insult me or go after me, that is what that is, right? But I care about the people in my life, and that's what I'm most concerned with.
Sorry, yeah, real quickly, was that audio issue just in my headphones, or was he not coming in?
I think I just accidentally muted the first part of that. So that's,
dude, yeah, I was confused what was going on there.
No, well, it was because the TV was messed up behind him. I was trying to fix it, but sorry about that.
Oh, okay, yeah. Go ahead and repeat what you just said for if the clippers are out there, because I didn't know you went out in my headphones.
For me, if I suffer personally, it is what it is. I've chosen to speak about these issues. I've chosen to speak about Christ, and I know that people are persecuted for his name's sake. And that's something that I had to accept at the beginning. I just want the people in my life to be safe, happy, and healthy. That's the only thing I care about at the end of the day. They are what matters to me. They are my light. They are my sun. They're the earth that I walk. And
are you married?
I'm not.
You want to be married?
I've been debating it kind of back and forth. I'm leaning towards it right now, but I really don't know like what I want to do with my life.
How old are you?
I'm 24 years old.
Okay, so you're not. Then you know you have time.
I'm not super old.
I didn't even get married till I was 25, and I.
Oh yeah.
And I obviously you can't go back, but like, I'd probably be much. I'd be much a better husband and dad if I'd gotten married now than if I'd gotten married then. I think that men should get married a little bit older.
I think so too.
But I could have still married a girl that was the same age as my wife was like 21 or something when I married her, and like I would still go marry a 21-year-old girl and make her imprint on me and become my partner, because that's what you want to do. You find a young girl that hasn't been tainted. The taint hasn't been tainted, as they say. Sorry, it's a very crass way to say it, but it's a true statement. And you want them to imprint. But at 24, I do think that there's a lot of weird pressure. That was really weird, right? In the Candace interview, how she was like,
yes.
Because I think Fuentes is what? He's 25 now?
26, I believe. 26,
yeah, but she was like pressuring, like, why aren't you married? And I do want to remind people, by 26, you should be preparing to get married. And I think you should get married at some point. Why would you not want to get married, though? Because it was weird that she was like, made him seem... Didn't she get married older than he is?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was
pretty old.
Yeah.
And didn't they have like a week-long like thing before the engagement was on? I like her husband currently like texted her or something like, hey, want to get married? And then they got married.
Yeah, I think they got engaged over Skype or something like that.
Oh my
well,
goodness.
and by the way, to remind people, it's like, you know, you shouldn't be dating for a long time. If you don't know within 30 days if you're going to marry the girl, don't marry her.
I would agree with that to a certain extent. I think you should be involved in like actual dating for about half a year to a year to like really know and
6
make sure.
months, yeah.
6 months at the very least. But I completely agree. You shouldn't keep going on dates with someone if within the 30 like day period you're not sure if this is the woman that you're meant to be married with. Because otherwise, I mean, you're just wasting your time. And that's how you like fall into all kinds of like goofy simpiness, and your brain just becomes like focused on the flesh and what have you. You don't want to.
Well, and you're gonna end up sleeping together.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? Like, you're just gonna end up sleeping together, and it's gonna cause a whole slew of problems. And it's like if you're marrying, especially if you're marrying a virgin, you don't want to take the virginity before the rings on the finger. If you're not a virgin, it's going to be really hard not to sleep together in general. Like once you turn that engine on, like once you start sleeping around, that's why it's always God wants you to like stay pure, because I always tell people like I always meet these young guys. I'm assuming you're a virgin then, yes? No? I mean, that's a very personal question.
I wish I was. I've made that mistake, sadly, in my past. I really wish I had stayed one. But I would encourage other young men to wait till marriage.
Yeah, I would say if you can stay pure, because as a guy, once you start banging, it's like every guy knows this. Then you get a girlfriend, it's like you're gonna bang her. Like it's really hard. It's very hard for me too. Like, and it's like I just think that with the marriage thing, you know, I only ask you this because I don't understand why, especially young guys, groypers, a lot of them are like into this this incel stuff. Is this just a LARP? Like, is that just like a joke, like being incel, or are they all actually going to get married? Because they're young still, but do your friends plan on getting married?
So all my friends plan on getting married. Even the ones online plan on getting married. I think the incel idea is embracing a term that was used against young men for so long. You know, this idea of if you stated any political worldview that was kind of like not the norm, what was the constant response? Oh, well, you can't get laid. You're an incel, and that's you just hold these beliefs because you hate women or you're not getting any pussy or something like that, right? And that's ridiculous. It's like I hold these political beliefs because I truly value them, and it's a worldview that I've culminated off of sort of my research and my experience and what I know to be true. And sex has no bearing on that. And so I think for a lot of young men, myself included, we use the term incel ironically, not because we're truly involuntary celibate. If anything, we're more voluntary celibate. But it's that.
Is there a name for this, like volcel or something?
Volcel.
Is that really what it's called?
Yeah,
Yep.
people call themselves volcels. Yeah.
Never heard that phrase.
It's what it's called, but the thing is it doesn't have the potency, right?
Right.
Because if you say volcel, people are like, okay, that's whatever, right? But if you say incel, you're kind of taking on the badge that they try to place on you and saying, you know what? There is such a desire within me to do the right thing, to serve God. It's involuntary.
Kind of like when people say, you're a Nazi. You go,
you're like
exactly.
taking back that power from the people who thought that it was a slanderous term, and you're kind of using it against them. I think it's cool. I think it's funny, and I think it accomplishes exactly what it was meant to accomplish. Because like realistically, most of the people who use that term are absolutely volcels, not incels. But that's kind of what makes it so like ironic and kind of plays against what they always throw at them.
Well, and people who
Elliot Roger, if you can hear us.
That's what I'm
saying.
saying.
Random note real fast. They love Oso sent a $20 super chat. Let's get some confetti here. Hey, Anna. Remember me from CG-verse? Thoughts on Brody?
Yeah, I remember you, Oso. I don't know what happened to Brody. I honestly don't. I was in a group chat with Oso, so that's what.
Okay, and also we got another super chat as well from Randall Flagg. Said, my donations are small, but my heart is big. No, by the way, just so you know, Randall, maybe we got to start remembering these names. We can do an air horn for Randall, because even though it's usually a $5 super chat, if you've been giving every show. So it's like, if you become a regular, you'll at least start getting an air horn for any donation, because we appreciate you coming on. It's like if you get up to $5 and then you go on top of that, continue, we'll give you an air horn there. But Randall Flagg said, my donations are small, but my heart is big. That's what I told my wife too. I was like, it might be small, but I've got a big heart, Once I launch my shitcoin, I'll 1, sponsor Elijah, 2, buy a tie for Hennessy, and 3, Anna can have any single appetizer she wants from Applebee's. Wow.
Going big. Is so generous.
That is very generous,
That
honestly.
is too generous. I cannot accept that. I simply cannot.
Can I also tell you too that girls standards are too damn high for what they offer. Like girls.
Oh, okay.
Have virgin,
thanks, Elijah.
Girls have.
That felt personal. Wow.
No, because I was gonna say about Applebee's. Like in my head, I was like, what chick would be okay with you taking them to Applebee's on a date? And I'm like, but why not? Because Applebee's is a place you go when you don't know if you like the people. You know what I mean?
Oh, you kind of feel it out a little bit.
Well, you never go like, oh, I have really good friends. Let's all go out on Friday to Applebee's. Applebee's is like somebody from church invites you out, like, hey, you want to get lunch? I'm like, all right, let's get Applebee's.
I don't think anybody's. No, I've never, even like with friends, I've never gone with them to Applebee's. So I don't know.
Well, some of us have been poor in our lives, and that was a nice restaurant for me growing up. It was like, I was
fine
Applebee's
dining at that point.
Was fine dining, and I was gonna say, but I'm saying Applebee's is a good spot where it's like, yeah, it's not fast food, and you can take a girl on a date. Would you? I think Applebee's is fine to go on a date too. Or you've been together for a long time.
Oh yeah, if you've been together for a while and
together
you're just
for
like,
a
let's go to
while.
Applebee's. Yeah, that's fine.
Yeah,
for drinks mostly.
But also, you don't want to break the bank on the first date.
No,
you know, 'cause you don't even know if
here's
you
what
like this person.
Here's
you
the
know?
problem: is people need to be very specific with who they date. Like a lot of young men will cast a very wide net, and they don't think about it, but really, in reality, it's because they want something beyond what they're saying that they want. If they find a girl attractive and they want to justify it, so they're like, well, she may not have these important things that I want in common with her, but I'm still going to do it. I'm still going to go on a date with her. So then a lot of times they'll wind up spending a lot of money because they're not being intentional enough with who they're dating or who they're picking to even just go on first dates with. I think that would probably save them a lot of money, honestly, if I'm being honest.
Well, yeah. Also, I think we should always talk a little about dating and stuff. 'Cause a lot of people are interested in it, and also reminding you, dude, it's so crazy, guys. I was hanging out with friends, and there was this Jewish girl that was with them, and she kept talking to me, and I was trying to get her to go away. So I decided to be as mean as possible. Like I was just like, you know, I run a sexist, racist, anti-Semitic podcast, and like, you know, she's got like a Star of David on. I'm like, try to tell her, and like, the more I was mean to her, the more she was like leaning in, like trying to talk to me more. And I was like, yeah, and I was literally like, I'm married. And then she's like, well, I'm taken. And I'm like, well, that's crazy because you're talking to me like you're interested in me and I'm being mean to you. So I have to remind you, girls don't like nice guys. I'm going to be completely honest.
That's actually not true. I actually was having this conversation the other day.
It's like the Bob haircut advice for girls. Cut your hair short. Cut your hair short. Guys, be nice. Be really clean and nice to girls because they're really not going to cheat on you.
No. I was going to say, I was having this conversation the other day with someone, and here's the thing. Like, the problem is, like, it's with men who like overcompensate with niceness, and you have to have self-respect, and both people do when you're dating.
A guy in a nice fedora that says, "My lady."
Yeah, like that's like a woman can sense when you don't have self-respect, and that's really what it comes from. And yeah, there are like cases of, I guess, women being just like bitches and being like, well, yeah, I like being treated badly or whatever. Like I don't doubt that exists, but I think most of the time where that idea comes from is the fact that, you know, a guy thinks he's with the girl that's out of his league, or like he overcompensates with niceness, when in reality she would have liked you better if you just had self-respect. You're laughing, but
not
well,
true.
the thing is, if you're confident, and you bring out the Yu-Gi-Oh card deck on the first date, there you go. I mean, she's impressed at that point, right?
That's what I'm trying to say.
Front.
So thank you. That's exactly no, really though. But like, also don't, if you are like a weird guy, like don't cover that up.
Absolutely.
Like be yourself. And I think too many people try to be with the woman. It's a very gynocentric society we live in. And you can't give into it as a man. You cannot like.
Weigh in on this. You're smiling too. This is not. I know a lot of guys. I am one too. I have some experience. Is like girls hate simps. Like it's just like you're such a loser.
If you come off too soft, it's not going to work a lot of the times. At least, you know, I'm not doing it anymore, but in the past I've experienced. And it comes down to they always have to be impressed. Maybe the first line that you said during the chat, where are you taking me, has to be something nice. But as far as bad guys go, really what it comes down to is women want to be with a strong man. I mean, that's really in their DNA. They inherently want to be someone. They don't want someone who's going to bend over backwards, say yes to everything. I mean, a lot of times they talk to us like that's what they want, but that's not what they want in reality. They want a man that can actually lead. I mean, it's built into their DNA.
But that doesn't mean be mean. Like,
no,
I agree with you.
Nice guys didn't say like rude guys. I'm saying like they just like you. Like I wasn't telling like you're an ugly bitch to her face. I wasn't being like rude. I mean, I was being rude as in like being like just like uninterested and like pushing her off, like because like to let her know I'm uninterested and I don't want to talk to you. And the more uninterested I was,
don't know if
the more that she's like was like.
Okay, but she was Jewish, so like Jewish girls are kind of weird. Like they like.
And Elijah was deploying a Yetzer Hara trap too, so that kind of changed it up a little bit.
Yetzer Hara, I don't really like the phone. You know, it's
terrible.
It's a wonderful invention, and it does so much good. But it's Yetzer Hara, so I like to. Do you ever want to punch someone? Remember I made it. Oh, remember that?
You kind of went off in that clip. You were like angry at that kid. I was like, dang.
It's like a 12-year-old kid. Wait, let me bring it up. You don't know this kid? Wait, how do you spell Yetzer Hara?
Oh man, it's like I think it's YETZHARA, if I'm not mistaken.
Let me see. Let me see if I can bring this up. This is one of the most. Well, that's not actually. Let me find out. Give your point. I'm going to play the clip of that guy.
No, I mean that's pretty much it. Also you're saying about the avoiding of like not giving too much. The thing is when you come on too strong, or if you give everything they want. people like to chase. I mean, really, that's what it comes down to. They don't want to have something that's just so easily obtained.
That is true.
A lot of times women find themselves where they want to get something because they want what they can't have. And if you give just a little bit, but not too much, you are going to have better results than somebody who comes out, and no offense with the Yu-Gi-Oh cards. Those aren't really going to work the best on her.
I don't know. The Yu-Gi-Oh cards would work on me.
Wait,
so.
somebody said
I think
women's
they would
advice is
work.
always what they want a man to be, but not what they're attracted to.
It's just like it's those like you've seen the DNC ones. They went around and they had a guy ask the girls at the DNC, what type of men are you with? And a lot of times they say they'll be with stronger conservative men, even though they can't stand them. And that's because they don't want to have that simp. They don't want to have that person who has no backbone and is a really feminine man. They want someone who's going to be strong, going to be masculine, who's going to be able to lead and help bring the family to a better place.
Well, let me show you this. So go ahead, Pinesap.
Well, I was going to say, I mean, look at all that that kind of recent trend amongst liberal women where they're like, he's a liberal, but he has a MAGA body, right? People keep saying that on like TikTok, Instagram. He's liberal, but he has a MAGA body. Well, what does that mean? Mm-hmm. Well, he's like strong, kind of on the outside, like performative, but he still has like liberal politics.
That's what they like. That's why Hassan Piker's so popular. And everyone hates me for saying this. I'm actually a big fan of like all the left. I think they're really like, that's a great idea. Be a conservative in like your appearance, and then like come in and then like give the most dog shit opinions to attract the lowest IQ retarded people. But at the same time, like you're kind of like a Chad, And it's like that's kind of like. But I was gonna say, what about Chud energy? Somebody called
Chud energy,
dude. You know who was talking shit on you? I'm gonna bring it up in a second. Is
talking shit on me?
No, dude, about him.
Oh,
I don't know if you see it from the
I got
official Rift
problems
account. I defended you. I said that your aura was unmatched. He was posting like some video of you. I'll find it. What's that guy? Hanania.
Yeah, Richard Hanania.
Richard Hanania.
Yeah.
And I'm like, dude, Richard, which I know Richard's been on the show, and he came and I never heard his voice before. And I know my voice is not masculine. I know I don't come across super masculine. That was crazy.
Like this. He's like, so the Democrats,
Yikes.
Dude, him and the Krasensteins. Have you heard the Krasenstein brothers? Have you heard them?
No.
Okay, I'm going to play a couple of
even
this.
worse?
Wait, listen, I'm going to play a couple things here because I want to tell you, these are the people talking shit about you. And that's why I think it's funny. It's like, hey, people that talk shit about me, all they do is like screenshot their profile. Listen, this is the kid. And I got to be careful because I actually got in trouble for this. This is a Yaitza Hara trap.
I hate the phone. I really hate. I think it's a wonderful marvel of human ingenuity.
Is this AI?
But it's a Yetzer Hara trap. I really believe that.
My mortgage rate just went up right now watching this.
I tried to turn things off.
You're like, wait a minute, my loan defaulted. What's going on?
My credit card interest is going up.
That's my
There's a tunnel under my house.
But I'm sometimes.
It must be they look at that piece, and that's what happens when you don't have to pay any interest on your loans for your house, right?
True.
That's why you could be that pretty piece when you're 0%. No, I want to go to that. What's his name? Richard Hanania.
Yeah, Richard Hanania. Yeah.
How do you spell that?
Richard and then Hana.
There it is.
Yeah.
Richard Hanania was talking a lot of smack about you.
Was it the clip of me dancing?
Oh yeah.
I love that clip. That's one of my
really
favorites. I'm having a time. I'm having a goof.
Are you a streamer?
I am, yeah.
Here it
I
is.
stream on Rumble.
Look at this.
We're back.
He said, I found the master race. And I guess it doesn't.
Yeah, it's not loading.
Oh, no. Why does it?
It's that powerful.
Yeah, let me see if I can just copy this.
It broke the entire platform.
You broke
right?
the internet officially with your dance.
I also like the Joe Cool shirt that you're wearing in the clip of a Snoopy. Sleeping on the
Is there a
doghouse.
reason why this like doesn't work? You know what I mean? That's crazy.
I don't know.
What's the
It's
guy's
like-
name? I'll try mine.
Just can't like even get the clip to work.
It's Richard.
It's when I had
Hanania.
pretty short hair too.
Are you signed in on yours? I'll just bookmark it. We're on the same one. Just go to the bookmarks over there on the far left, right there. It says bookmarks. Yeah, click on that, and then just go. There you go. Put that whole
There we
full
go.
screen.
Let's go. Let's go. Interesting.
I don't know.
Interesting pose of Frozen.
You know, it's interesting. Chris Bernay first brought this up when he like crashed out on the Groypers and stuff like that. He's like,
I'm not gonna hear him over that. Go ahead.
Chris Bernay first like brought up this clip and he's like Groyper General, by the way. And it's like, okay, well, I never claimed to be a Groyper General. And second of all, it's like, it's a white boy having fun. Okay, we're having fun out here. We're having a good.
I don't want to take the guy seriously.
Just Pinesap being a real and.
That's what I'm saying.
I feel really bad, dude. I feel bad. That guy. I feel bad for him actually because he had a good job and got fired, and then I reached out to him to try to help him because I felt bad because I thought like like you, I thought he reached out. And then like I ratioed him because he's like, and then you know he has this like he did this deep dive on like Nick Fuentes' like pedophile cult or something, and he did like 10 pedophile scandals, and somehow I got in there. I like, and then it was like, and also like he didn't even get the lore right. Like his research was so bad, he took like slander and rumors about me, but like didn't get the rumors and slander accurate, which is my favorite part. Like where it's like, and then you know he's everyone knows had a. Like Christian Walker said he was in a gay relationship with a black man. That's where that came from, the twist on it. Okay. And I was like, hey, that's not the rumor. You didn't get it right. And it's like, and he's like a known pedophile. And you're like, dude, listen, man, I am a journalist as well, not on this show, but I do write and do original research. Do you realize that's illegal to make those kinds of claims? And also, if you're going to just spread like goy slop, like rumors, like this is why all those like anti-Fuentes people, they get really the Bible says something really important that I've always remembered, and it's really hard not to be bitter towards people. But there's only one sin that's all powerful and destructive, and it's bitterness. It says that bitterness poisons the root of your tree. It poisons the root. And what I noticed about Fuentes is that people hate him, and then they never stop hating him for the rest of their life.
Yep.
They make him their entire obsession.
It's their brand.
So strange.
And like me, like literally when that Jewish guy put out that stupid post that there's nothing in the video says that I was with what's the dysgenic looking guy's name again? The brown guy? Ali.
Ali, yeah.
Yeah, there's a cut. So this adult kid said something. This Jew puts it out. Do you know why that video was released? Because that day, the day before, Fuentes announced that I was speaking at HYPAF, and that guy doesn't like Nick, and so everybody who was speaking, they put out some like hit, and it was like me just going to an event that Nick was at. Now I'm called a pedophile. And it's like that's some serious hate, because like
serious hate.
That's like actually serious hate. And then I asked my friend, I'm like, well, should I sue him? And he's like, no, that Jewish guy intentionally he has a lot of money, he spreads lies, and he wants you to get into a lawsuit. He has a different litigation tactic, and then he wants like access to your chats and your logs, like to get to Fuentes
Wait, who
and
is
stuff.
this?
I'm not gonna say his name.
Don't say his name,
But no, I'm not gonna
sure
say his
if you
name for
had mentioned
litigation
it.
reasons. No, we don't.
I'll tell you
It's
later.
like it's a woman moment. I'm like, it's like literally, this guy's very litigious.
No, I wasn't sure if you'd mentioned it, and I missed it.
Do you have any claims to make about him? No, it's like no, and I was like,
getting a chance to talk this time. So
yeah, what?
This isn't bad.
Oh
But
no,
yeah.
no. I'm totally
good.
wait. I'm totally joking. I'm saying like
I
it's
know.
like, do you want to accuse him of any crimes too? No, but I was like, I don't even say anything bad about him because he's litigious. But I'm like, that's how much his haters hate him, that they set traps for people that don't know him.
It said a Yetzer Hara trap.
He's a Yetzer Hara trap to try to get in. And like, to me, that's the bitterness thing of like, hey, if you don't like somebody, you've got to just let it go after a while. You got to let it go. And that's
true.
That's to all these people that are obsessed with Trump, with Fuentes, with any of these people, they dedicate their whole life, Trump derangement syndrome. It's like, hey, I don't like a lot of the stuff he does either, but like, I'm not going to dedicate my whole life to just like hating Trump. You know what I mean? And during that first administration, there was a lot of that. I also want to make sure too that people don't confuse, being obsessed with Trump or Fuentes as the same thing as being obsessed with the Epstein list, because that's about trying to hold criminals accountable for a blackmail ring that controls our politicians. So Mark Levin, you're wrong, okay? And the problem is the reason why we're trying to get the Epstein file list is because people like you are the ones who committed the crimes and blackmailed our politicians. So if I want to find out about whether or not it's justifiable to pursue a criminal, I don't go to somebody who has vested interest in ensuring that criminal is not prosecuted. You care more about Israel, Mark Levin. You care more about keeping institutional power than you do about pedophiles receiving justice. That is fucking gross. I don't know how people listen to you. I don't know how they're that retarded. I do not know how they're able to take you seriously. And the fact that Trump said today to go listen to Mark Levin.
I was just about to pull that up.
It's like, hey man,
I have it right here. Hold on.
You should go. Just so you know, Meek Mill said we should stop caring about the Diddy case, and you're like,
That's because they were banging.
That's because
That's the Trump post right there.
Come on, dude.
Goodness, come on.
Anyway,
And then I'll pull up the clip of Mark. I have it here.
this is ridiculous. This is ridiculous.
We have a lot to run on, and you have a lot to run against, given the other party. But I will tell you this. We better be united. We better be strong. We better be focused. We better be articulate. We can't waste our time on Epstein and other stuff that are going on here that some people want us to focus on. I've about had it with all that stuff. We better focus on who we are, what we're doing, where we want to take the country, and what they want to do to the country. Mr. Speaker, God.
Pine, honestly, does it ever infuriate you? You said you're critical of Trump. I know why Nick's critical. I know that you're in that circle. Is it the same reasons, or do you have your unique reasons?
It's the same reasons, relatively speaking, because I was able to tolerate a lot about him when it seemed like he was kind of forwarding our political goals as a whole, right? Because for a while, I knew that he was never going to be like the based, super far right leader that we needed to completely clean up this country, but he kind of gave us an in terms of like that political theory, right? I remember there's a writer who wrote a wonderful academic text called Not of This World. It's about kind of like theocratic politics and like Christianity entering into especially American politics a lot more. And he says that like Trump was kind of a Constantinian figure. Like he entered politics, he allowed a lot more like far right ideals to kind of seep into American political theory, past the Mitt Romneys and the John McCains. And in that way kind of acted as a battering ram for what we really wanted. Now it's like, I'm looking at someone like, I don't know, the lead singer Guns N' Roses outside of his heyday. You know what I mean?
Well, we knew he was going to be we thought he was going to be a nationalist, but we knew he wasn't going to be conservative or right wing rather. Meaning like, yeah, he was kind of more akin to probably Bill Clinton in terms of his politics, but he seemed to have sort of a nationalist, rather America first agenda. Meaning like he'll put the country first, but that's it. Like that's all we needed from him. And he couldn't even do that. Like, and I think deportations are a good example of that or lack thereof.
Sorry, real fast. Can you make sure to update the restream card? Because we're going to like possibly lose the stream right now. Or like, I don't know, after this, at least I think we have like an hour left to stream anyways. But we got new credit cards. So you got to update the file. They're going to delete all of our recordings and shit. I was just aside. I just literally just got an alert from them right now, so that's all why I brought that up.
Also, we have some super chats to read.
You guys, can you read them?
And while you're bringing that up, actually, I want to just mention that we are up to $1,584 on Pinesap's, aka Connor's.
Bring it up here.
Give Send Go. Let me bring it up real quick.
I just yeah, we got it right. Let me see if we can bring that in.
And I mean, I really want to thank everyone who's donated. This is not like just a like, oh, hey, I got canceled, here's some money or anything like that. I really want to use this opportunity to kind of refocus, reshape, be sort of molded and tested like iron in the fire to be more about God. And I think that's what this moment's going to be able to do. And so I really thank you guys so much for helping me in this difficult time. It really means a lot to me.
Yeah, and I just sent it to Sarah Stock as well, told her to share it on her page. Maybe she will, but I'm gonna send it to a few other people. This is kind of where we got to come together, guys. Like he said he believes in fascism, and then he got terminated over that, even though fascism saved El Salvador, and Trump supports Bukele. So, it's kind of one of these things where it's like you might not even believe in fascism. It might turn you off. I do want to talk later about the Jubilee stuff because I do have some criticisms from the overall debate. Not necessarily just you, but I want to get some questions on, like we were talking a little bit earlier. I don't want to counter signal you because I don't think there's anything wrong with what you said.
Oh, of course.
But like we talked a little bit about it earlier, I do want to get into some Jubilee stuff right now. So I want to see, let's go ahead and, if we can, let's get into some cultural stuff, talk about this for a moment, and let's talk about the Jubilee episode, look at some clips, and see what really happened. Did the right wing do a good job? Did we really convince minds, or did the left win? Both sides say their side won. There's only one truth, or maybe just like the Dinesh Fuentes interview, some people said it was a stalemate, right? Some people said both sides won for their side. What really happened here? Let's get into it. All right. Before we talk about that, let's just get into some super chats here real quickly. And at the end, by the way, if you give and donate to the fund, he'll be reading your names out and doing some thank yous as well, for people on air. So it's kind of cool. If you're a Pine fan, like you just want to you can write super chats in there too. So you can go, give money and write a little note and he'll read it at the end of the show. A couple super chats here for $100. Let's go.
Wow.
Let's go. Where's the music? We always take one article of clothing off just one person. But today I was smart. I wore a jacket because I knew it was going to happen. because I love how Braden just like, he doesn't even question. He's like, all right. He's like, this way, this is Braden.
He knows
like,
it's
the music starts. He's like, wow, do I really have to do this? You're like, the super
He's
chat
like taking the van man, rubbing it on his chest. All of this is what you guys want to see? You sure?
It's like, all right, starts undoing his buttons.
Yeah. It hasn't even processed. He's like texting Homer, are you gonna send it yet? Let's go. We got the sweater on. Thank you, Homer. He said, win rant. And I don't know what rant that was. Maybe it was the Mark Levin stuff. Homer for the win. I just hung out with him this weekend. We got some cigars. It was really, really nice. It was really, really good time. A couple more. Thank you so much for that, man. It really is awesome. It's like crazy how supportive he is. He does it every night right now. We don't expect it. If you ever want to stop, we'll never be upset about it. And we love you anyways. But like, dude, giving $100 a day, sometimes $150 a day. It's like, it genuinely is helpful because honestly, like even Pine's ticket was expensive. Some of these tickets are freaking expensive right now. And it's like genuinely because of the super chat money, we were able to get your ticket. So it's like, if you want to know how you're helping, it's like literally got your ticket. So that's cool.
That means a lot to me.
Shout out. He did it. And because believe it or not, we have to work on a budget. And if a ticket's too expensive, we can't usually do it. That being said, tech support SAR sending $10 for a little, I guess we just do a few air horns for the $10. He said, sorry to hear about you losing your job. Sent over $100. Best of luck ahead. I don't know if you want to say thank you.
Well, thank you so much. That means a lot to me. And I mean, all you guys, like, even if it was just $100 or whatever, like of the total donation, the fact that you've been so willing to help in this difficult time and all that, it really means a lot to me. And, despite kind of the persecution, I think what does stand out a lot more online is I feel like there's almost been a greater outpouring of support. Like even as much as like the left has been kind of like railing on me, or like, I'm seeing clips from anywhere from Richard Hania to Mehdi is commentating on some of them again, and a couple other figures. Like, I mean, honestly, Harry Risen, right? Harry Sisson, but I call him Harry Risen because I mean, bro polls, so I got to give him credit where credit's due. They've been clamping down, but then there's been so many people that are like, you went up there and spoke my mind. You went up there and you said what I needed to hear. And I think that's always been my MO is I always wanted to be the unheard voice of young men. I wanted to be sort of somebody who you almost feel as if I grew up with you and I know your struggles and I know where you're coming from. And so that just means the world to me. So thank you so much, brother.
Awesome, man. And we got a $5 super chat as well from Real America Media Network that said, question for Pinesap. With the last name Perez, is Anna white or brown? Mendoza, feel free to weigh in after he answers.
Oh my gosh, we go through this every time.
I mean, what's your heritage? What's
Spanish.
your makeup?
I'm Spanish and Portuguese and French. And everybody thinks I'm like Mexican, but...
I mean, listen, there's some swarthy in there, but I wouldn't say you're Mexican by any means.
I'll
you know
take
what
like
I mean?
swarthy white, sure. Like,
Yeah.
that makes sense.
I could see that,
Look, Elijah's like, no, she...
Well, because Elijah's over here, he's got that like Nordic genes going on. Like he's going to be kind of harsher about it.
But what's funny is he's actually darker than me right now.
Oh, here we go.
You are.
Hey, Joey, you want to weigh in?
There we go.
You want to weigh in, Joey? The thing about Joey, though, that I'll give him credit for, despite definitely being a Latino, is that he's got red hair. So I would consider, like, I would immediately say you're white Latino. Like, you can tell by his height because he's 7'5", ladies. He's 7'5". No, but you can tell by his proportions, like he's got a Latino build. However, he's also very strong. This is not even a joke. That one's not a joke. He's got massive chest build, strong arms. He's single, ready to mingle. We're gonna try to pimp out Joey. He's a really good looking guy. But I can tell it's like, oh yeah, because curly hair and
Joey's
stuff.
wing woman. Yes, Joey's awesome.
Yeah, Joey's.
If you're single, you should go for Joey.
Yeah,
well, I'm pointing as if she's there.
I'm genuinely. By the way, you can always email me if you find yourself to be attractive, because he only likes attractive girls. I'm being honest. What guy doesn't? But if you find yourself to be attractive and you're looking for a guy who's highly educated, has a doctorate in physical therapy. He's our editor here. He's an extremely nice guy. I'm just gonna go right into be honest. He's got savings and he's got a nice car and he's a Catholic and devout Catholic since birth. And so if you're a girl and that sounds interesting to you, and you're like under 5'7", 5'6", if you're under 5'7", 5'6", feel free to shoot me an email and I can always connect you guys on a DM. I'm not joking.
He's cool too. He has aura. He has aura. And I'll vouch for him as a girl. Like he definitely has aura.
We work out all the time. Works out like 6 days a week. He's very in shape. It's very, very good guy. But that being said, no, I laugh because because I would say, okay, he's white Latino, right? You look at him, that's white,
Well,
white Latino. That's what it asks you.
No,
Like, are you
he's-
white? He'd say yes, but are you like Latino? Yes. Like, there are white people in Latin countries.
There are.
That's what I've been saying.
Well,
or Hispanic, Hispanic, white Hispanic.
I think they even have a term for it. It's like sangre azul or something, like blue blood, because you have like blue eyes and you got kind of the whole
There's
like
a mix in
Aryan
there.
thing
Well,
going
I
on.
just
had
heard
a
like
baby.
what's the term? There's like castizo and
Yeah.
mestizo. Like that's the difference. Castizo is like white Hispanic and mestizo is mixed. So you'd be like native or something. That's what makes them brown. But like if you don't have that, which is mostly like most Latin Americans do, but like if you don't have that and you're mainly Spanish, like then yeah, you're white.
Well, okay, we'll have to move on from that. Farm friend Groiper sent $5 in, said, need to lock in and secure the out pouch discount code. Honestly, that's such an easy ad. Every time if we just like take an Alp on
just
set
take
and just
them,
say
yeah.
the code, we'll check that out. Also, why don't we create our own pouches we have a pharmaceutical license.
That'd be
now.
kind of sick.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also somebody gave you an idea to make money. They said you should start an energy drink company called Chud Energy.
That would be
future of
amazing.
energy.
Yeah, why not?
And it's just a small boost of energy, because it's just for
Chud
the
energy.
It's just a little energy for those that get anxiety from too much. Also, $20 for the confetti and the air horns and the applause. We love it. Do you agree with Keith Wood's take on the debate style and that Pinesap and Co. should have been more tactical? We're going to talk about the stuff over on the locals. So if you haven't joined already, before you jump over there, I want to say one thing. Circling back for a moment on that, as you guys know, from the crypto angle that we touched on earlier, it's wild how digital assets are flipping the script on corporate finance. And if you're into how businesses are adapting to this volatile yet rewarding space, Hyperbit Technologies is worth a closer look. We want to remind you that we talked about giants like MicroStrategy and Tesla stacking Bitcoin on their books, a smart treasury move, treating it like a digital gold to combat inflation and preserve value. But Hyperbit, listed as HYPE on the Canadian exchange and HYPAF in the US, takes it up a notch. So if you want to invest in a company that is literally invested in mining, it's kind of a crazy thing. So it's like, we're not telling you it's not like a coin or something. It's like something like an actual company, right? They're not passive holders. They're actively mining coins like Dogecoin, Litecoin, and more with cutting-edge eco-friendly setups powered by renewables. This creates a dynamic treasury that's constantly growing through production, not just purchases. Now, what sets them apart? Well, they have advanced rigs, optimizing them for efficiency paired with affordable hydroelectric power, ensuring they mine profitably while keeping their carbon footprint low. It's a strategy that lets them accumulate assets, reinvest in growth, or even pivot to a new opportunity in the crypto ecosystem. If you're an investor eyeing crypto, Hyperbit simplifies it all. No need to deal with hardware, security headaches, or market timing. They handle the mining, acquisitions, and safeguarding, giving you a broad, resilient entry to the sector. Remember, check it out under HYPAF in the US and HYPE in Canada. Link is in the bio for more details. Now, back to the conversation. Don't forget, like I was mentioned, there is a disclaimer, and I do that because this is not financial advice, and I'm not telling you to spend your money or to invest. I would never tell you go do and make sure you go invest. But I am willing to just say, hey, here's a company that wants to raise awareness, and they're trying to fundraise and raise money to continue their mining efforts, and that might be of interest to you guys. So they are intentionally targeting decentralized audiences too. So like people that believe in decentralized financial system, they're trying to raise money, and we know because we try to raise money too. All right, so we'll start, and then we'll go over so that it's interesting. I'm going to ask you, did you see Keith Wood's response to you? Because I'll read it on locals.
I would love to like read the full response. I was definitely snippy towards him about it because I was just getting bombarded over and over, and I did a yawn emoji TLDR. I think the reason I was, though, was it wasn't that I was necessarily just trying to be dismissive, but I think that I think what I disagreed with is when Mehdi was using that kind of rhetoric about fascist, Nazi, what have you. Sure, I could have gotten into the minutia and nuance of what that means. But again, when they use that term, words don't mean what they mean to the left, right? They'll constantly use these sort of buzzwords or these catch-all phrases to lock you into sort of a definitional category and then use that to slander you. And then you're kind of almost playing like a fly trying to get out of sticky tape, like trying to wiggle your way out of it, saying, oh no, I'm not a fascist. I'm an absolute monarchist with minarchist tendencies or whatever. And they use that term not to say that you're like Mussolini or you're like any of these other leaders. They use that term to basically denote you as you are someone who believes in authority. You are someone who believes in right-wing politics. You're someone who believes in virtue, and you want to enforce that on a societal scale. And so at that point, I said, you know what? If he's going to just slander me like that, why am I going to cower? Let me just, bear out my chest.
Yeah, so we're going to read that over on Locals. So if you haven't joined our Locals, we're putting it in the chat. I will let you know for today, for the first few minutes, it will be free. So if you check it out, make sure you check it out. And starting tomorrow, I have some codes. We're going to be starting a free month as well. So if you want to join today, that's completely fine. You'll still be able to put in the code. Even if you sign up, it'll give you an extra free month as well, even if you sign up today. So sign up today, it's really helpful. And once you're in, you'll get the code and it'll give you an extra month on your subscription. But I encourage you guys to join because as someone said, someone in the chat's like, don't trust any political commentator that sells you stuff. That's actually so stupid because all you need to know is you just have to ask the commentator this. Are there clauses in any of their agreements that your words could be influenced by the advertiser? And the answer is no, which is why you don't see us advertising Apple AirPods and Coca-Cola.
Right.
We pair with advertisers that literally explicitly, it's one of our rules. You cannot influence what we say. And so a lot of people won't work with us. And it's really, really hard to run an ethical company like that. But when you go around trying to undermine people and spread, lies, or you can't trust these people, that's actually stupid because the Catholic Church sells Bibles, so what, you can't trust the priests? It's kind of like a stupid thing. The question is, if they were, profiting and selling you the Book of Mormon, maybe you shouldn't trust them. So if we're selling you things that go against our values, then that's true. If we're and by the way, here's abortion pills. You'd be like, okay, well, these guys are full of shit.
Yeah,
but if it's
quite a
just
bit different.
investing and, lotion, you guys use a lot of lotion. You're a male audience, 18 to 25. It's true, too much. So make sure you check it out. Anyway, we're going to head over to ElijahSchaefer.locals.com. Shout out to the rest of you guys watching on YouTube. If you're watching on YouTube, if you're watching there, we're going to be there. And before we go, as always, Pinesap is going to read a thank you to the people and also tell us how they can find and follow you.
Absolutely. I just wanted to say thank you for the overwhelming support. Thank you guys. Honestly, more than money, more than any of that, just the overwhelming love that you have shown me. It really has mattered a lot to me. And if you want to see more content, you can follow me at Pinesap3 on Instagram. You can follow Feels Guy on Twitter, or you can follow my Rumble, which is Pinesap. And I'm going to start making YouTube content again, more video format. So I also have a YouTube channel as well.
Yeah, and then Anna, how can they find and follow you?
You can find me at WrongThinkAnna_ on Twitter and at WrongThinkAnna_ on Instagram as well.
Yeah, and it's on the screen. And by the way, this is just a side note. Our audio is growing at a rate that I actually am really shocked at. We never even mentioned that we have an audio podcast. I think it's still up as the Rift Report, right? It says it.
No, I fixed it.
Let's go. Okay, I didn't even know you did. Yeah, so look up the audio.
Also, I have
great.
this too.
Oh, I didn't know we had that.
That we've never used. Yeah, I know.
Yeah, just because we developed the show, just put it up randomly on as we're talking. Because that's just I don't know any really. If we put it up 2 or 3 times on a show, we are on audio and we're up to several hundred every episode on there, which is pretty cool. And I mean that genuinely because audio is cool because you can set it up to automatically download to your phone. And that's a huge reason why we invest in good sound quality because we want, these are very expensive, the boards, everything we do so that we don't pick up anyone else in the mics. It's all really expensive stuff. And we do it particularly for audio. And this is a brand new show. And to be there after 6 weeks, you guys, I'm so happy for all of you guys watching. So shout out to our audio only listeners, reminding you very soon, no one's left an audio a review, but the way that we'll be ending every show as we go is reading one of the reviews. So it's like a free super chat. You go into the audio, leave a review, and we'll read it on air. And it doesn't have to be a review of the show. Just leave a 5-star and check it out. Snowflake, how can they find and follow you?
All right, you can find me at snowflake_news. I'm on Instagram as well as X. Come check it out. I'd really appreciate it.
Okay, and go into the Give, Send, Go. I don't know if you're able to, I don't know if you're just able to see this here. You can bring up on, you can just bring it on the screen so he can read them off here. Let me see if I can just zoom in. Okay, so if you just want to, we'll just go through and just thank these people as well. You can read the notes there if you want to read them.
Real American Media, thank you so much. Hope this helps, brother. God bless. God bless you too. Anonymous Giver said, quite frankly, we love fascists. I appreciate it. Elijah said, we love you, man. Hey, Elijah, I love you too, buddy. Cody, $100 said, I saw you on Elijah's show. Good luck, man. I hope things work out for you. Slickwick, $50.
Let me see if we have, do we have more? Let me see. Is that most recent? Let's just go all, right? Can you not read all of them?
No, I guess not. That's weird.
Oh, wait, yeah, here's some more. Okay.
Homer J. Fuentes, Fight Like Hell.
That's great. I mean, hey, $420.
You picked there too.
That's a funny, interesting number, Homer.
Yeah, Homer chose that one.
Yeah, we got right here.
Hi, Pinesap. It's anonymous giver sent $150. He said, "Hi, Pinesap. It's a Catholic monarchist from X. I really enjoyed your segment in the Jubilee debate, but had no idea you got fired. Because of that, I will contribute, and I hope you find work again soon." Pinesap the goat, $100. Cody,
Any more? Yeah, here you go. Sorry,
thank you
this
for
is
speaking
new.
your mind. Brighter pastures ahead. Augustin 99, fake cell, sir, but God bless. Praying for you. I really appreciate that, brother. $50. Keep up the good work. Stay strong, and God bless you, brother.
Is it Billy? We know Billy. Billy's our mod on YouTube. Is it Billy Hades or Hates?
I figured it was Hades. Yeah.
Because that's a crazy last name.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's Orthodox. We go to Catholic church together though because both of our wives want to go to Catholic church. So that's actually the
That's
truthful
awesome.
thing. Here's someone else too. We got a few more. Gonna put it up. We still have some more.
Let's see. Gloiper1 sent $1, or not $1. He sent $50. My goodness. Love you, big guy. Great work on Jubilee. I see big things happening in your future. Slickwick, $50. Tux, 34. Love you, buddy. Appreciate you standing up for Christ. What you believe in. God bless. Anonymous giver, $25. God bless you, brother. Anonymous giver, $25. Going to pray a rosary for you. Real American Media. Oh, gotcha. Eric Winters, $20. America First. Ryan Lee, $20. Sorry to hear that, brother. Keep pushing the faith and being a voice in these times. Anonymous giver, $10. Ave Maria, brother. Anonymous giver, love you, Sappy. Tribunus, saw you on X. You were shared with me and my group of friends. As a fellow Catholic, we got your back. Wish I could give more. Hey, anything counts, honestly. $10 from Catholic Quebecois. Love you, buddy. I really appreciate that.
I would have butchered the hell
I
out of that.
butchered it all the time, and then
yeah, well, we'll read them more tomorrow. So, guys, I mean, the super chats are really awesome, and I thank you. And it's like that's crazy. Like Homer's like giving to the show, giving back. I know not all of you guys can give, so I just want to remind you, if you join the locals, it's like $6 a month, I think, or something like that, and you can ask him questions. So if people ask serious questions, I do answer them, but half the time it's just you guys posting swastikas and stuff like that. So it's like, also remember there are normies that don't enjoy that. So, do whatever you want in locals. I don't care. I'm not going to police you, but, remember that we are trying to build a community and you can join the Discord there. Anyway, we'll be right back. Make sure you follow Mike Mendoza at themendozareport.com or at Mike Mendoza JPG on X. You can follow me at Elijah Schaefer. We'll be right back. We're talking about the Jubilee episode on locals only. Links in the chat. If you're watching on Rumble, you just click the follow button. We'll see you all over there. And we'll be back for our final segment here discussing the pros, the cons, and some of the highlights.